Yo,
TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us.
You're listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
For all things Pelicans, you're now tuned into the Pelican post-game report. We're in the building. Much love to the family. Another installment of the Pelican post-game report. We are doing this thing for another Saturday episode. Dropping it, man. Much love to the flock. What's happening, family? What's going on?
what's up,
Big up to
Flockers?
the rest of the family members. This was called Pelicans Rumors. Josh Hart would like a fresh start ahead of the season. We're going to cover that and other news, notes, and items. I'm Big Q chiming in on this episode of the Pelican Post Game Report. Got my dog and co-host DC riding shotgun. What's happening, DC? How you doing, fam?
I'm doing great, good brother. Sitting up here enjoying this Saturday, ready to get into this Pelicans talk. We've been chilling all week, looking at what's going on, hearing the multiple rumors with the Pelicans. Uh, Got to see what's going on with our boy Josh Hart, the heart and soul of the team, as you call him, Big Q.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and rightfully so, man. Josh Hart, his name is his game. Plays with big heart, and man, with the series of moves with the Pelicans have made, I would love to see Josh come back. But DC, logically speaking, the signing of Najee Marshall for that cheap 3-year deal, and of course the emergence of Didi Lozada
That's the
could
one to me.
could prove fatal to Josh Hart's prospects and returns for the team. What you thinking on that?
Didi to me was the red flag. We get here, we talk about what we would want the Pels to do, and you kept hearing me wave that Josh Hart flag as well as Big Q because you just love him as a player, man. You don't get a lot of guys that play with that heart and intensity that he does every play, and it's actually multi-talented. I don't know if people realize him driving to the lane, and he's a pretty decent shooter, even though it didn't look that way this year. But when they brought Didi up, man, and seeing him actually give some premier players some problems defensively, I was like, ah. And then they signed Najee Marshall.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I don't know, man. I don't think we're gonna see Josh Hart back as much as I would like him. I know he can guard 1 through 4. He can get rebounds and do all of that, and that's all great. But that's all areas that we don't really. Anybody can use him, obviously, but it's not weak areas for us. Rebounding ain't a weak area for us. You know what I'm saying? Guarding 1 through 4, as far as being a little guy, ain't something the Pelicans into. Um, you're looking at the hustle, defense, grittiness. You got Didi Lozada and you got Najee Marshall, who actually shot pretty decent 3-point wise. So they looking at him as a guy that can maybe do just enough, or maybe not more than Josh Hart, especially with the combination of Didi Lozada. So the both of them can definitely make up for the loss of a Josh Hart. We all know that, but still, man, he's taking you 2 players to match the results of one guy. So, in my opinion, he's pretty damn good. I know a lot of people might be a little bitter, and they're gonna talk about we don't need him and all of this. But you know, Josh Hart is a hell of a player, man. I think any team in the league would love to have him.
Yeah, you're right, man. He is a terrific player, man. But like we were saying, salary wise, it might not be a spot. At first, I didn't really want to admit to that Josh Hart could be a guy that we might have to let go, because you want that kind of person on the team representing and holding it down on what he brings. Just would hate to lose that, and then of course lose that heart and drive and that intensity to
Greatness
players. But
too.
yeah, that's what I value that so much on the mentality of the basketball team, to have somebody like that.
We gotta get
Yeah.
another villain to waiver guy, man, because that seemed like how they bred or something, bro. Because I've seen multiple guys in the league with a little bit of that Josh Hart in them like that, man. Actually, what's the guy's name in the draft? We got another guy coming out like that, gonna go pretty high, right?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. His name escapes me
Jalen
right.
Suggs, I think.
Suggs have a little bit of that in him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got a little bit of that. We can cultivate that. But yeah, it's quite a few guys, man, that we need to do to keep that grittiness. But I just think price tag wise, it won't make a difference. Big ups to the flock here's games as well, brother Kai. What's happening, fam? Good to see you, Latrell.
I'd agree.
What's up, fam? Good to see you. What's flocking with the family members, Jasper? Big ups to you, Pelicans. Nola in the building as well. And brother Lavelle says he actually the toughest person on the team. Absolutely, I agree with that, brother Lavelle. Welcome to the stream. And brother Kenneth, what's happening, fam? What's up, Q and DC? What's happening? What's going on with you, Kenneth? Big ups. He said, "How valuable is our pick this year?"
Depends on what a lottery land for us, man. We got to see where we're gonna be. A lot of people, I guess, saying we're gonna be 10th. With our luck, the past few years in the draft, and us dropping to 13th, we thought we would be a little higher last year. I think we get a little more lucky this year. Probably end up around, I say 6 or 7. And if that's the case, 6 or 7 is a very good pick, enough for you to pull off what we're probably gonna do is some type of blockbuster trade. I don't see the Pelicans being overly excited about bringing in more young guys. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think they want a very good player that's a vet, but not extremely old, if that makes sense. Somebody around that 26 to 29 range, maybe.
Yeah, and we've said that, and that's my analysis too, fam, is the same way. By the temperament of it's going into the third year with David Griffin at the helm. We're looking at it saying, listen, we need results right here. And based on the actions that I've seen from them, I don't see them really be super uber excited about, another rookie guy here. I mean, remember, he also alluded to this in previous interviews when he was stockpiling these picks, about ultimately having these picks with the opportunity to package them so he can get a veteran of his choosing. And me and DC was talking about it, and he don't like the guy. I said, watch what they try to do. And I'm going to even throw the name out there, man, because it's going to end up happening.
If you say that, I'm going to keep throwing the other guy name out there.
No, I don't want none of them dudes here. But remember, I said, and then that's what it ended up being. And that's why I said I got to watch that, man, because I've done that several times at DC. You caught me on that. Which I'll say something and then it'll happen. It's like, man, how you?
It ain't just what you say, or sometimes it be what you complain about, my brother.
All right, so what's up, Pelican Nola says love Josh Hart, but it's time for him to move on. All right, I'll see you. Thank you, Pelican Nola.
That's what he
what's
said,
up, brother Damien? Who that tell you state of the Pelicans
Damien.
with DJ as well. All right, what's happening, fam? Appreciate y'all being in live stream. Please hit upon the like button as we get going. And we're going to go over several news notes and items before we open up the lines of communication for the family members with questions, concerns, and comments. But we'll get into our first article, DC, right here. And this one here is the sleek, if you can see the sleek dressings of one Russell Westbrook, as you can see right there. And a Hennessy ad.
And I got a vanilla suit on?
That's something like that, bro. I don't know what he got going. Is going on in Hennessy.
Well, I don't get, man. I just don't get the new wave, man. Like, where's his shirt? Like, how do you wear a suit jacket with no shirt? I just don't understand that movement. Maybe I'm missing something.
Me too, bro. That's the Hollywood crap, bro. I don't really get off into that, bro. That's
All
just
right,
how
let's get to the article, man. Let Russ be Russ, man.
right. All right. Pelicans trade rumors. This is the title of the show. Josh Hart would like a fresh start ahead of the 21-22 season. Let's get off into that. And this one's coming from the Bleacher Report family. An article is written by Mr. Adam Wells. As for the Pelicans prepare to make several key roster decisions this offseason. The status of pending restricted free agent Josh Hart is one of them. Now, this is per Chris Fedor of Cleveland.com. Hart would like a fresh start, and that's quoted, in 21-22 after spending the past 2 seasons with the Pelicans. The Pelicans into the summer needing to decide if they're going to sign Hart and Ball, who is also due to become a restricted free agent to long-term contracts. Now, per David Fisher of the Bird Rights, New Orleans can afford to assign it can afford to sign both to lucrative deals and remain under the salary cap if it wants to. And as you could tell right here, David Fisher then has it laid out pretty good. The contracts currently of the players there, you can see Pelicans salary cap estimate for 21 and 22. Assumptions: Lonzo at $4 million, what DC 4 years contract at $85 million, or 5 at 110, which is broken down 4 years at 85 or 5 at 110. 4 years at 85 seems more reasonable in my opinion in terms of, that's what he's looking at. We'll see. And of course, Hart at 4 years at $44 million was just over that MLE mid-level exemption. And of course, you see Dede at same contract as Xavier Tillman, which was the 2020 35th pick in the 14th pick. Now, full MLE used is a portion used to sign Dede Lozada. Now, if you look at the Pelicans numbers right here, the top guy on the team at 29.4 is BI. Lonzo will be 19, just above Eric Bledsoe, who would probably end up getting traded with his 18.1. Could you imagine going into the season with this freaking guy on your team at 18.1? And of course, you see Steven Adams at 17 right here. And then, of course, Zion is 10.7. And if you can see Josh Hart at 10 million right there, then you see the mid-level exemption. And then everybody else is right around that 5 and below. So a lot there. And then, of course, you get down here, DC, you see the cap there. And then, of course, the space after that got going. And you can see the luxury tax penalty as well and all that kind of gravy information. But it can make a move. After seeing some of the moves, I don't think that's going to happen for them bringing them back. But let's finish off the article, then we'll talk about it. Coming off a disappointing 31-41 record in 2021 and missing the postseason for the third year straight, the Pelicans might want to explore various options to upgrade their roster. Williamson will be eligible to sign a long-term extension in the summer of 22. Ingram received a max extension worth $158 over 5 years last offseason. Hart was a part of the New Orleans return from the Lakers in the Anthony Davis trade. The 26-year-old had his modest success with the organization, averaging just under 10 points a game, just under 43% shooting from the field, and 7 rebounds per game in 112 appearances for our Pelicans. So, DC, let's get into this article right here. Josh Hart, a lot of people talk about Josh Hart, how good Josh Hart has been to the team, and I just love his ferocity, averaging 7 rebounds a game, DC, as basically an undersized small forward who was used at 4 at times, and he was just up there with some of the top rebounders in the game. And of course, diving on the floor and playing, doing everything he's supposed to do. Well, hate to see a guy like this leave, but something tell me we trending Josh Hart to be kind of flying away from the flock, so to speak. Let's comment on that.
Man, this is the guy who said when we first got the trade, don't trade me. I want to be a part of this. Now you want to go somewhere else. Man, it's either JJ Redick was telling him all type of shit when he was moving out his house, Big Q, or Stan Van Gundy done just messed up everything, dude. Like, I don't know which one it is, but sad to see him go. But when you look at it, 4 years, $44 million, all the holes and everything we need on this team, the bloated contracts of Steven Adams and Eric Bledsoe, we got to figure that out. My only thing is, if we do lose Josh Hart, we need to make sure we use him with his restricted free agent tag as a way to get rid of a Eric Bledsoe or Steven Adams if that's what we're going to do. So, I mean, we can't keep him and then do what our general manager is saying, which is put shooters everywhere. We're never not going to have shooters anymore. We finally know what we need. Man, we knew in 2018 we needed shooters. That was before your ass got here. So Josh Hart is going to be a casualty, to that effect. And I don't know, my man Pelicans Nola talking about in the chat. He's saying Jason Tatum wants to come play for the Pelicans. That would be a lovely thing. We would have 3 Dookies all here, but I don't know how the hell we're gonna make that happen next year, brother. Like your crystal ball on that might be 3-4 years out.
Yeah, that's interesting, man. Would love to have him, man, but we wouldn't be able to get him. I mean, we had a chance to get him, but
We wanted to get him, Q, and
yeah,
what
we was trying
happened?
to get him in
Andy
with
Davis
the Andy
camp
Davis
came out
trade.
and said, if you trade us to Boston, I'm only staying 1 year, and then I'm going to LA. So I mean, what you gonna do? That would
Well,
have been nice if we could have got Jason Tatum instead of Lonzo Ball and Bi and all them. So we'll have Jason Tatum with Lonzo. Not sure. I mean, Zion. I'm not sure how that would have turned out, but as much as it pains me to say it, because I argue with you about this, Jason Tatum is a better player than Brandon Ingram. So definitely would
well,
have been better for us.
well. I mean, I agree. I think Jason Tatum is better than Bi right now, but it's no way we had an
And they
opportunity
was
to
talking
try.
about Jaylen Brown in that trade too, right?
Well, he was mentioning it. They killed that side of it, but they were willing to move Tatum. Ainge was for Anthony Davis, and they had a couple other pieces in there that would have looked better than the Los Angeles package that we got. But of course, the agent for Anthony Davis leaked it. He destroyed it. He said you can trade him there, but he's going to the Lakers as soon as his contract up. And of course, that killed any prospects of him going anywhere except for Los Angeles. So I don't see the
You mean
Pelicans
you
getting
mean
him.
Rich Paul, huh, brother? You can go ahead
That's
and say his
exact.
name. It's all
Yeah.
right. You can
I
say
was
his
trying to
name.
avoid saying his damn name.
Why should you? He the only man I seen that was 5'3" that was basically looked like he was holding Anthony Davis by the hand through the whole process.
He was.
He deserved to get his name mentioned for the mental jiu-jitsu he did on AD.
Not just him, but give LeBron a lot of credit for that too.
Well, LeBron don't want the credit. That's why he didn't let you see him. I can't. That's tampering.
I got you. All right, let's get into this one, family. And this is the reason why Josh Hart could be saying the kind of comments that he's saying, is because this article here is by Keller Strauss of the Pelican Debrief, showing did Didi Lozada make Josh Hart expendable? Let's get into this one. New Orleans Pelicans have some tough decisions to make the offseason, particularly when it comes to Ball and Hart. Both players have been inconsistent, especially when it comes to shooting the ball, which can make it difficult for the Pelicans to retain both and significantly improve the roster. And while Lonzo will get more of the headlines as a free agent, decision on whether to retain Hart is as difficult. That decision didn't get any easier when Lozada came off from Australia late in the season. If you aren't familiar with Lozada, he's a 21-year-old draft and stash player who spent a couple of years in Australian league after being drafted by the Pelicans in the second round. He's known as a hard-nosed and versatile defender who has the size to guard multiple positions. He's not a great shooter, but he can get to the hoop and finish. He has the size to be a plus rebounder for his position. Sound familiar? Pelicans. New Orleans Pelicans, Didi Lozada, a cheaper version of Josh Hart. Let's see. If Lozada's attributes sound familiar, it's because they are pretty much identical to the strengths and weaknesses of Josh Hart. Hart is one of the best rebounding guards in the NBA, a tough and versatile defender who can guard up or down, but he has struggled shooting the three ball and doesn't make much of an impact on the offensive end, which is why the Pelicans may decide to let Hart walk in free agency. Lozada is not going to be the rebounder that Josh Hart is, but the Pelicans don't need rebounding. They need on-ball defense and guys who can either shoot three-pointers or get their own shot in the offense. Lozada is already a tenacious on-ball defender, and while his shot is probably not as good as Hart's, he's probably better. He's better off at creating off the bounce. Now, New Orleans
I don't
Pelicans,
agree with that.
right? New Orleans Pelicans need to have a good offseason and have a lot of glaring holes to fix, so they might have to let Josh Hart walk for the cheaper version and invest their assets everywhere else. And even though Keller Strauss does put a Mentioned some good points in where, but he put Didi Lozada in there, but you also have to factor in uh, the Najee Marshall as well, because I think he plays a part in that. But let's talk about this one, DC. What are the thoughts on Didi Lozada's impact on the Josh Hart decision?
Uh, I think this is the reason for it. If we're not able to retain Josh Hart, what you've seen from him, from the first game they put him in, man, one thing became clear immediately is that Didi Lozada can play defense. He was frustrating guys and getting on their nerves. You know what I'm saying? So if you got that aspect, then you look at I guess, the greatest attribute of Josh Hart, and he has many good attributes, but I would say his ability to rebound is second to none for a guard. Man, it's insane. And the guy's not even a starter, and he averages like 8, 9 rebounds. That is like awesome. So you look at that. Can we afford to lose it? Do we need it? It was a great addition to the bench unit, yeah, but we could live without it. So that then you go to the defense. I think Didi Lozada has the ability to probably be a better defender than Josh Hart. He isn't right now, of course, doesn't have the experience to be, but his I guess his starting point as opposed to Josh Hart is a lot higher. Josh Hart is a great defender, guard 1 through 4. His only weakness to me on defense is, when guys are real shifty and fast on the perimeter, he seems to have some problems. But other than that, he's pretty damn good defender. Didi Lozada looks like a guy that might be able to overcome that hurdle, as well as I'm looking at his 3-point shot. Man, he's real streaky. But I mean, if you put him with our shooting guru, you know what I'm saying? If you put him over there with him, man, I think we could get some of them kinks ironed out, and you could have Didi Lozada be at least a 35, 36% 3-point shooter. And if you kind of delegate him to those corner threes, similar to like a PJ Tucker, you use him in the right way or wherever his spot is, I think he can be very effective coming off the bench. And nothing no one can do or any player can make us forget about a Josh Hart, because we've had some very high levels of production from Josh Hart, man. I mean, some amazing games. The dude had what was it, like a 15, 17 game off the bench, man. It's like never been done in history before. And you're missing a great player. He's not a better driver. I don't know what my man saw in the article as far as talking about him creating a shot off the bounce versus Josh Hart. Josh Hart was real good at creating a shot, with the ball in his hand coming down. Not just creating, you give him the ball at top of the key and he trying to dribble, penetrate, and all that. He could get in there and do some stuff, but Didi Lozada ain't really showed me that at all. If anything, I think Didi Lozada is probably a little faster than Josh Hart, so maybe he's alluding to that. Maybe be able to get around defenders, but I didn't see that type of creativity from Didi Lozada to be a better guy off the dribble. But the one plus side he had is being a very high level defender, and I think once he gets his chance to show what he can do, a lot of people are going to be surprised. And he seems to be a guy that he plays hard all the time, man. He kind of has that grit that we looking for from a Josh Hart, and that want to, you know what I'm saying? Didi has that, as well as Najee Marshall. So I just would love to see it. Like, could you imagine all three of those on the court with
Yeah,
Josh Hart, as
I
opposed to
know.
getting rid of him? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
With a bench unit like that, that would be great, man. But that ain't what we're gonna get. So we gotta live with what we got.
I
And
said we still got to build up the bench. I mean, that was the main problem last year.
well,
Is
we
that
need size, though. I think that's the one thing. That's another reason we probably looking to get rid of Josh Hart. They want to get bigger guys. Like, why you think they were so hard up to sign Najee Marshall? Man, Najee Marshall's big. Josh
six
Hart
seven?
is
Yeah,
doing all that. He's 6'5", and they got Najee Marshall listed at 6'8". You know what I'm saying? So I think they want to get bigger, and then especially if we're gonna hold on to a guy like Kyra and not include him in the trade, which I don't know if a lot of you knew. I found out this week. They had some stuff on Twitter. I had no idea how close he was with Therese Witherspoon. She actually seen him. She coached his brother, and he would go to all of his brother's games, telling Therese Witherspoon he wanted her to coach him. Get that, Q. And then we wound up drafting the guy. So saying all that to say, we keeping Kyra for the long haul. probably one of the smallest guys on our team. He's going to be a big part of our bench eventually, probably as early as next year. Maybe could be a guy that we see late in games, maybe 3-guard rotation. We don't know what the Pelicans are going to do, but they want to get shooting, and I'm sure they want to get bigger because we got a lot of tweeners. With Josh Hart on our team, we would have a lot of guys around that 6'5", 6'6" area, which for guards, that's cool. But we kind of neck it when it comes to forwards and stretch power forwards and, stuff like that. I think they want to go bigger with more shooting. And Josh Hart going unfortunately probably be a casualty of that, as much as I don't want to see him go.
Yeah, and that more than likely will be the case. But we most certainly definitely need more size, but we definitely need to improve the bench. I think KLJ last year, the Pelicans didn't use his speed enough. He's one of the fastest players in the league. We need to use that more. Put the ball in his hands and let him attack the iron. Let him get to the cup, and he's once he gets there, he hits the free throws. So and good and I think that's a part we need to work on. And of course, you mentioned Didi Lozada's struggles shooting the 3-ball. Well, a good comment is that a guy named Freddie Vincent also did a good job with Lonzo Ball helping him get on code with that. So
I just Lonzo Ball. No, don't leave out the biggest improvement.
No, I know. But Lonzo is Lonzo is the guy that we talk about the most because he had to literally change his shot and changed it in a way where he was comfortable and was knocking down a lot of shots very comfortably. So, I mean, he's helped out a lot of other men there as well. But,
Brandon
like I
Ingram.
said, yeah,
he increased Ingram, man. Did you see the leaps in Brandon Ingram? And Brandon Ingram was screaming the praises of Freddie V last year.
Yeah, a lot of them do, and yeah, I seen his
look
better
at Jackson.
shooting.
Look at Jackson Hayes.
Mm-hmm.
He's coming along too. Can't say NAW yet, but I'm sure he probably in the lab.
He probably be the best of the bunch because he's naturally a long distance shooter. A guy likes to shoot the ball. Freddie V gets somewhere, he's gonna be probably.
Kyra probably gonna get to work with him.
All
man.
that.
Man, we got some stuff brewing, man. I don't know if people who don't, I know we know people who hit a night, but I don't think the rest of the world really understand how talented the Pelicans are. They don't have cohesion and that chemistry together yet, but they got a lot of talent, man. A lot of people undervalue our players, and I think that's good because that'll force our front office to hold on to these guys and, hopefully not give them away for a bag of peanuts to try to get some old worn out star or so-called star.
I'm not going to say his name.
Well, let's move on. Damian Green got a question. Big Q, put that up there, brother.
All right. Damon says, big ups to my dog. Damon says, Q and DC.
Man, Damian Green, that wasn't the question I seen. You must have asked several questions, huh, brother?
He got 2 of them.
He busy in there tonight, huh?
Yeah, he want to know, bro. He wants to know.
All right.
So he says, how do y'all feel about Monty Williams not winning the Coach of the Year?
You want me to go first?
Yeah, by all means. Go ahead, brother.
Well,
it's not a big deal for him not to get it. Just more fuel in the fire for them.
I'm going to tell y'all right now, I think Big Q mad at Monty Williams because he left. Because we had a short talk about this, and he was trying to sell me on this Tibbs bullshit. He won in New York. Phil Jackson couldn't win in New York. You know what I'm saying? I think
about what I just said there.
Who was the coach when Carmelo Anthony was there?
Listen to what I'm saying.
Huh?
Who couldn't win there? Who you said couldn't win in New York?
Who was the coach?
No.
Phil Jackson. But Phil Jackson wasn't the coach.
He couldn't coach that.
He was the president of basketball operations, similar to David Griffin.
He got a guy that can run his system. How that work out?
And he basically isolated Carmelo Anthony, froze him out, and installed Kristaps Porzingis for him to go on a 2-year run and want to get the hell away from New York and say the hell with y'all. 2 or 3 years, however long he was there. But the Knicks were in the playoffs several times right before Phil Jackson got there. He was trying to ride that wave and take them to the next level, and it flamed out. I don't even remember who the coach was when Carmelo was dropping 60 points in the Garden and it was in the playoffs. So, man, don't give me all that. They had coaches that win and got the Knicks to the playoffs. Tibbs ain't do nothing amazing like that. What I'm watching Monty Williams do is amazing to me, especially after seeing that man.
The Knicks hadn't been in the playoffs in 7 years, and you talking about what he did wasn't amazing. He got them back in the playoffs,
Man,
man.
I
You
don't want to
talking
hear
about
that, man.
Carmelo Anthony, man. What
Man, I
you
don't
talking
care,
about
but I
here?
don't want to hear that, man.
Carmelo Anthony was dropping 6. He was ISO
No,
Carmelo.
I said Phil Jackson isolated him out of the team, man. He start calling the man team. He can't be like LeBron and his posse and all this crazy shit. Phil Jackson coming there talking stupid, like for no reason at all. Carmelo wasn't doing nobody nothing. I don't like how they did do it over there, but that's in the past. My thing is Monty Williams is doing an excellent job. I thought he did an excellent job in the bubble last year. Ever since he got to Phoenix, he had those guys playing hard. They were 10 times better than they ever were with Alvin Gentry. You know what I'm saying? So I really think he should have been a coach of the year this year. I understand that, Chris Paul went there and people saying that's going to take him over the hump and all of that. But understand Chris Paul went there because he was coached by Monty Williams before and obviously thought he was a competent, good ass coach. So the man got cheated out of coach of the year. I'm taking my shots at Tibbs. I think Tibbs did an excellent job. I'm not going to lie. Getting the Knicks to the playoffs. I just think Monty Williams was leaps and bounds a far better coach because I watched him with that Phoenix team. He had his handprint on it, bro, and he implemented what he wanted to do. And those guys that are there now were guys that were there with him. So we're watching his vision fully come to fruition. And it's a wonderful thing to see, man. Those guys are real dangerous. Whoever they play, Utah or the Clippers, it's going to be an excellent series, man, because the Suns not going to bow out quietly.
No, they definitely taking on Monty Williams' never say die mentality, and I'm not mad at Monty. Monty was forced out of here. He didn't leave because he was tired. He wanted to stay here. You had an idiot named Dale Demps who fired him because him and Dale didn't get along because he was here before Dale Demps. He knew Dale Demps was an idiot. Even the late Commissioner David Stern popped off about how terrible of a general manager Dale the Simp Demps was. So it wasn't just us. We knew he was an idiot and a fool and a jerk and a jackass long time ago, signing those players the ridiculous amount. His greatest albatross and with the biggest millstone you put around his stinking ass neck and throw him to the bottom of the river is Amir Asik. That was terrible. That was totally awful what he did. But he had other really ridiculous movements. I remember
He did a lot of bad stuff.
I remember
they throw you these one golden balls every once in a while.
I'm gonna find that article. They had an article. A writer did a tremendous job categorizing all of the bullcrap contracts that he signed. Morris Peterson, all of them, man. It was just a stinking.
Man, I like Mo Pete, man. Mo Pete
was good in Toronto. Cut it out. He sucked here. You know that. All right, Damon says, "Hey Q, do you think DC? Do you think we can find that player in the draft to make a big three with Ingram in Zion?" Go ahead, DC.
That's a good question, brother. I think it's a circumstantial question. It depends on what draft pick we get. Like if we get what I'm predicting, a 7th or 8th pick or something like that, I say no. I think we find a guy that can be highly productive, that can be maybe a good role player, close to being that third guy, but not quite. If we get lucky, then maybe so. But I think if we fall like that, we probably wind up trading that pick. And it probably would be better off for us if we can find the right player to implement with them too. But if we get one of them guys in the top 4, then I think that's very likely. I mean, you got some guys up there, man, that can help turn some things around and that are extremely talented. So after those 4 slots, it drop off a little bit, but it just has to be the perfect pick. And judging by our front office, I'm going to ask you a question. Do you really think we can make the perfect pick?
I'll ask you a better question than that. Do you think the coach will be involved in the perfect pick?
Oh.
Get me away from here. No. It's just too much foolishness and tomfoolery. I mean, you hope for the back. We get a top 5 pick man in there to work with him. It'll be interesting because I think the biggest thing we have to decide on is what we're going to do with Lonzo because that's big. The Josh Hart thing is
This
It's
shouldn't be.
it's
This shouldn't
it's
be
a
such a
side dish.
hard decision, Q. I really
But
don't get that.
I get it, but I'm saying if it shouldn't be because both of the team stars are telling you they want him here. He had a phenomenal season last year at a position that he don't usually plays. But the thing is,
What
what's
more
the
the man
business?
got to do?
I don't know. He balled out for him. And I think he should occupy the top slot, and they should pay him the money. If you paying Eric Bledsoe 18, whatever it is,
Well,
Bled,
he tipping his hand a little bit. They had some stuff going around with him and Zach Levine doing some videos for D Wade's show. They got all these little weird things with putting balls in holes with this D Wade thing. So they taking trash and Lonzo Ball sitting on his bed, dangling his legs, looking crazy in some red. He got a whole red theme going on with all the clothes he got on, and throws it behind his head, goes in the trash can. Say, yeah, Zach Levine, can you do better than that? Zach Levine puts his trash can in the driveway, and he's wearing Lonzo Ball's number or some clothes for him or something, and he throws some trash in the trash can and all this, and all the Lonzo stands is going crazy right now. They talking about us a trash organization. He going to the Bulls, I'm telling you.
well, I mean, you're hearing it all over the place
They
with the
talking
Knicks
like
and everything.
Lonzo is an unrestricted free agent, bro. These people trip me the hell out. Like he really can choose where he go. Like I don't get it, Q.
I mean, they don't understand, but we'll explain it to them. All right, let's move on to the next article here. Pelicans, here it is. The Indiana Pacers coach was fired, not too long ago, and of course, is Van Gundy
Shut
next?
the
Of
hell
course,
up. That's what they told. That's what they told the Indiana Pacers coach.
oh man, after Nate, how you pronounce that? DC
Nate, but
Bajorgan.
Jorovich.
Jorgren,
I don't know,
NB.
bro.
I'm gonna just say NB, man.
But
The
Jarvis.
Pacers fired after the just
Oh,
one season. Fans of the Pelicans started wondering if SVG might be next. Now, Adrian Wojnarowski first reported that Nate B dismissal, which was somewhat surprising given that he had only been the coach for one season. But the Pacers entered the season with a 5-year playoff streak and thought it would continue, which it did not. There are also reports that Nate B had lost the locker room and that he was butting heads with some of the veterans on the Pacers. If there's one thing we know for sure about it, the NBA, it's about coaches rarely win these battles if someone is going to be made a scapegoat for losing. It's usually the coach, not the players. Now, Van Gundy also had some locker room issues with the young Pelicans, though those have probably been overblown. And he also missed the playoffs after coming into the season with high hopes to get there. So will Stan Van Gundy be the next to be fired? Then there, of course, the comments about New Orleans that Van Gundy is not on the hot seat yet. Pelicans fans who want a new coach are going to have to wait, but they might not have to wait too long if the Pelicans start losing. Unlike Nate B, Van Gundy has a solid resume as a head coach in the history of improving young teams. Van Gundy also is up against a shortened season with no training camp. And here come the excuses. Very few practice sessions to get to know his team, so he's going to be given the benefit of the doubt. Like I said, these are excuses that should not be brung up when talking about winning and losing because your adversaries and your compatriot other teams in the NBA still succeeded and went to the playoffs and are in the playoffs right now under the same goddamn circumstances as our team was. We did not have it any harder or easier than anybody else. We're all playing under the same stuff. So, I mean, that's the part where I have to drop my game on them is let them know that this is bullshit and I don't want to hear this nonsense. He says, but he won't get much time next season to turn things around. The Pelicans are desperate to start winning. While Zion Williamson is still on his rookie deal, if the Pelicans start out strong next season, then Van Gundy will get some of the credit for turning them around. But if he don't, he's going to get the blame. I can't see David Griffin making that type of decision unless it's 100% necessary, as it would be an admission that he made the wrong choice when he hired Van Gundy and might put his job at risk as well. Coaching is a tumultuous profession in a lot of ways, and Van Gundy might find out the hard way that coaches are always going to get the blame when a team underperforms. For the most of this is very good points from the writer here. But like I've said, you have a superstar in Zion Williamson. You have an all-star in BI. You have Lonzo, who's played at a higher level this season. You had several draft picks that excelled as well, first-round draft picks that excel as well, several role players that excelled as well. And I think it's due to the fact that many different reasons why the Pelicans lost. I think a lot of them just didn't believe in Stan Van Gundy until a point they tuned him out. And the thing is, this is a new NBA. They're not gonna wait on your ass. You might have signed a 5-year contract, but that don't mean nothing in the end. You think they're gonna let you have 5 years to figure it out? Hell no, that's not the same. That's not what it's gonna be in the future. And this guy getting fired from the Pacers definitely puts people on code about, well, Van Gundy might be the guy next. And like I said, the only reason he doesn't get fired, I believe, is that, just like the writer said, Griffin is almost an admission of guilt that he screwed up, which will make him look bad as supposed to be this wonderful guy that comes in and saves the Pelican organization and takes us back to the playoffs because he's such a great general manager. But what I've witnessed from David Griffin is a lot of talk and a lot of excuses. He talks a lot and he makes up a lot of goddamn excuses that I don't want to hear. Don't hit me with all that nonsense about not having enough time and all that when people in the playoffs right now busting ass and getting it done. Miss me with all that. I won't hear it. So I mean, it's we'll see in the end, because his time is running out too. Because this whole little thing he put together is quite it's getting to be quite dysfunctional. Players not listening to the coach, a general manager that's basically invisible, that you can't get any answers from, a VP that's way too visible. You know, it's a coach that's scared to pick that when asked about players that he starts shaking like a leaf and catching seizures and shit. It's really dysfunctional and batshit crazy in many ways if you think about it. But DC, chime in on this article. What do you think about this?
I think it's a great article, a little bit of clickbait, get your attention because they know how bad we all want to get rid of Stan Van Gundy. So it's like, New York Pelicans, they fire the Pacers coach and Stan Van Gundy. Oh, I got to read that. Stan Van Gundy next, but ultimately, not just David Griffin, even though, we could clown his ass here all night, but Stan Van Gundy is a coach that's actually accomplished some things in this league. So you usually don't see guys like that just get fired, after one season, especially with the circumstances that we did face. Like you said, still no excuse because they got coaches. We point to Tibbs, your guy that you said deserved the coach of the year. He went in pretty much the same situation that we're in, minus a superstar. They don't even really have a Zion. Let's say for sake of argument, Brandon Ingram is on the level of a Julius Randle. Where's their other, guy like that? Derrick Rose is probably the closest thing we got. On his best nights, he could show up and be a star for you, but he can't do that for 82 games at, the level he's at in his career. Great player, but just he's not a guy you can depend on from night to night. So what Tibbs did and with the Knicks, we should have been able to do with the Pelicans. Obviously, we play in the West, so it's a little more difficult, but that's still not an excuse to go 31 and 41. We could have did better than that. I mean, if you add the 10 games to it, then I say maybe we win another 5, and that's being generous. So we would be 45 and 44, something like that. But still, man, it's still not acceptable. And no, I say 45. I'm at 35. Y'all know what I was trying to say. But still, that wouldn't even be acceptable if we want to give them that, and that wouldn't have got us into playing. It's like there's no reason you shouldn't have made the play-in. Like, damn, that's the ball. That's really low. Not even the playoffs, but the play-in, and you got
Right.
2 All-Stars. So
Yep.
when you look at that, you got to find somewhere to point that in the direction of. We could talk about roster construction and all of this BS because I don't care who on your roster. I don't care how bad the role players was. If you got 2 All-Stars, there's no excuse for you not making the playoffs. Just point blank, period. I sat here 20 some odd years ago and watched Allen Iverson will the goddamn 76ers to the finals with Aaron McKee and Eric Snow as his best players. There's no reason you can't make it to the playoffs without 2 All-Stars. So we can get happy about them getting rid of Van Gundy and the whole 9, but we know he's going to be here. The Pelicans are not an organization that will sit around and wait to do something like that. They was going to fire Van Gundy. They'd have done it in the same way that they fired Alvin Gentry. Alvin Gentry knew he was up out of here before the bubble games was all wrapped up. But even though Alvin Gentry got fired, he still made it further than Stan Van Gundy, which is pretty pathetic. So it's a lot that got to be done, got to be fixed, and they got to figure out during this offseason. I'm liking what I'm hearing from players. Brandon Ingram is trying to step up, telling all the guys, let's get together and do workouts. I like that, man, and I think that whoever the coach is, it don't matter if it's Stan Van Gundy or somebody else. When the players start taking accountability that way and they start doing what they want to do, it seems to me like they're gonna go in the off season. They're gonna figure out a way to play that they won't play, and they're gonna present that to Stan Van Gundy because honestly, we might not like his defensive philosophy and everything, but I truly believe Stan Van Gundy can get the defense figured out if they buy in. But what my problem with Stan Van Gundy is with the offense. And I think that'll fall on the players if he's wise enough to just loosen the damn rope and let them guys kind of showcase what they do. Obviously, they're going to implement a little more Point Zion, as they should. I mean, I like Point Zion, but Point Zion is not something that you want to do all game. You want to make the other players dangerous and you want to put them in their comfort zones. And those guys have to be allowed to have expanded roles or different roles because they were not happy with them. And that was all the friction in the locker room. Guys weren't able to do what they know they were great at. And once again, I'll point this out. Maybe Stan Van Gundy has a master plan according to that. Maybe. It's a big maybe. Not saying he does. But I did see what he did with D Wade. And it wasn't encouraging. D Wade wasn't happy being a point guard. And he was a shooting guard. But the next season, they let him go to his natural position. And look what you got. You got the guy that they comparing Spidey Mitchell to right now. You got the guy that went on to win finals, won one with a broke down Shaq. You know what I'm saying? And an old Alonzo Mourning. That's basically all he had. Got a finals, beat the team that wound up in the finals up 3-1. Went back and beat them. So we got to see how this play out. I think Stan Van Gundy does deserve a chance to at least see how it will work for the first quarter of the season. And then after that, if he got a losing record in the first quarter of the season, you ain't gonna hear me come in here no more with nothing positive to say about Stan Van Gundy. I promise y'all.
I'm
I
pretty
ain't
sure
gonna
he'll
have
find a way.
I ain't gonna have shit positive to say about it, bro.
I'm
He
pretty
need to
sure
be
he'll
out.
cash app you and you'll find a way to kind of give him a
I
positive
don't even
check.
have a cash app.
Now you'll get one. You'll find one.
I'm lying. I do got a cash app.
I see you lying ass. All right, big ups to the flock. Thank y'all for being here. Big ups to you. Damien, what's up, fam? Dame says Q, DC if the Pels start off mediocre like 15. I think DC just addressed that, saying a quarter of the season he should be fired. And I agree that he should be fired. Me personally, I think that sometimes you don't need a full season to see, what's going to happen with this guy. He's not. It's a communication issue. A lot of it is the communication because I've personally watched Van Gundy coach these guys, and it's a very powerful point that you made about Stan Van Gundy not allowing. He has a stranglehold to a degree over the players and how they need to flow in the system. Now we'll play in your goddamn system, but let us be. I don't want to lose my personality, my signature style that I'm comfortable with, and play this rigid ass style of basketball that you're accustomed to having. Still let me do me, and I'll play your system. But remember, Gilbert Arenas and several other players made mention of this, and we put this on show that Stan Van Gundy manipulates and is too micromanagey and has his hands on the players. Well, don't do this, do that, and the guys, it's not fun. And you can see during the season that was the case where the Pelicans would be up, and then all of a sudden this would happen, all this kind of stuff. So it's just a lot of stuff pertaining around the coach. And that's why you're supposed to get a young coach who can speak the young players, or a younger coach that could speak these players' voice. We had Will Weaver and all these other coaches that communicated better. And Van Gundy, he knows it, but it don't mean a hill of beans. It don't mean a hill of cow dung if you can't get the message to the players. So I agree with the statement there. I think he should be fired in the first quarter. Why wait? Get his ass up out of here. I'm saying if you look at the season this year, they got a lot of really good coaches that's out there that's going to be out there once this season over with. Way better coaches that fit this team than SVG. But that's not the point. The point, DC, is We know it. Griffin is not going to fire Stan Van Gundy at the end of this season. You know, he's not going to fire him because that's an admission of guilt that he did something wrong.
Yeah, you know he ain't gonna do
He ain't
that.
going to do that.
Griffin is the king, the master
It's of covering his
PR,
ass.
PR management, excuse making, and covering his ass, huh?
Covering his ass.
The master,
Covering.
bro.
But
But
that's what
I gotta point out D-Lo the guy. My man said, do him like
Debo.
Debo the guy. My bad, bro. My eyes
Yes, sir.
bad. Saying I ain't see that. I look
Where
like
your
an L.
glasses at, sir?
Look like an L. I need to put them on, bro. But Debo the guy said, do him like they did the Cavs. Tyrone Lue, laughing my ass off. 5 games in and fire his ass. That was the David Griffin move too.
That's right. That's right. Watch, he won't do it. He gonna let him. If he fails, we gonna go 5-20
What's
before
the point? What's the point in that, dude? Q. Like, why fire the man 5 games in? You obviously knew you wanted to get rid of him.
Well, I gave him a chance. You see, I gave him a chance. He just
5
couldn't
games.
get it.
5
Well, I was
games.
trying to give him. You know, this is a very competitive league. You know, this is very competitive, and I gave him 5 games. I gave him a chance to do it.
No, you got to do a better David Griffin than that, bro.
Oh, that's the best I can do. Anything else revolved in the sounds of slithers and snakes and shit. So I mean, but Debo says, "Big Q, is this the dumpster fire?" yeah, not quite there yet, fam. Not yet. But it's not a
This is a dumpster fire.
it's not a dumpster fire yet. It's almost like a hilariously poor horror comedy. That's what it is. It's not a
comedy.
It's a horror comedy because you got Stan Van Gundy over there shaking anytime you ask what kind of players you want in the draft. And then you got David Griffin operating as a vice president who's really the de facto GM. You got an invisible GM that doesn't want any press conference at the end of the season. He doesn't. Even the janitor gets a press conference at the end of the year. Yeah, we like to see how your schedule going to be in cleaning the floors. Well, I figured I'll use Fabioso this time, and then the next time I'll put Simply Green in there. You know, I mean, even the goddamn janitor got a press conference at the end of the season. Got an invisible ass general manager, a GM, a vice president that's really de facto GM. You got a scary ass coach who gets mad when people ask him what kind of players they are. I mean, come on, man. This is like a terrible, horrible horror comedy, a tragedy, or whatever.
They asked GM, they asked Trajan, they said, Trajan, you think you could do an interview to end the season right now? And he said, well, I think, hey, Trajan, they got a spot in here you need to clean up.
Come on back here and wash these pots in there, man. Oh yeah, hold on, fam. I gotta go wash the
man was
pots.
about to do the interview, bro. Then he went and washed the pots, and he came back, and all the interviews was gone.
No, they was still there, but they was talking to the man to give him the real answer.
No, bro, they did him like they did Cinderella, bro. It was all gone, bro. Everything was all over with. Yeah, this one shot.
That's terrible. What's up, Debo? What's up, James? Big ups to you, fam. Saying gonna lose no no sleep over Josh Hart going because you got Najee Marshall there, who's a bigger, taller, younger, and put close to the same numbers that Josh Hart did. And you're right there, Brother James. Appreciate your comment there, Debo. You two and the rest of the family members, Brother Damien, and as everybody else. That's very well said. But I think the thing about Najee Marshall that he don't play with the same heart that Hart does.
I don't know about that.
It's a difference to me, bro. I mean, Najee Marshall be out there running around, traveling and shit. But listen, I give you that, bro. You know, he play. But you're right on that, though. Najee Marshall has definitely got real cheap contract, a 3-year cheap ass contract.
Man, I done seen games where Najee Marshall was the only guy out there exhibiting the type of energy to win the game, bro. Every time I see him, he plays hard, man. The last 5 games of the season.
Did you have when all our guys said,
you're damn right I did.
No, you didn't.
I had him on, Q. Well, you know what? I'm lying. I ain't have him on.
There's 2 lines in a row. Do you see when the third one coming, bro? That's 2.
I put my glasses on when I be on my laptop, but I got a big ass projector screen. The screen's so goddamn big. If I put the glasses on, I might burn a hole in the damn screen. Q. You know, I ain't need.
You ain't looking at no projector right now,
huh?
You ain't watching no projector right now.
I was watching Najee Marshall, man. I got my contacts in, bro.
I hear you, bro. Nah, it's context. Now you ain't got no context, man. What's up, Adrian, baby? How you doing? Nevertheless, family is in
Adrian!
the building. What's up, Adrian, baby? Brother James said Suns and Denver had the same players and coach they had for 4 years. Stop comparing us to veteran teams.
Wait,
Stop
what?
comparing us to
They
the
had the same.
veterans.
What do you mean?
You heard what the man said. The man said Suns and Denver had the same players and coach they had for the last 4 years, right? So he's speaking of continuity. The coach and the players have an understanding of each other. Stop comparing us to the vet teams.
I mean, the Suns to me was a team that they achieved they completion last year. I think they got some rookies over there that they put on that team that kind of took them over the top. Malik Bridges was a big piece for them. I think they just got him last year. But definitely with you on the Denver point, bro. That's an excellent point, especially about the Denver Nuggets, and they do like to compare us.
Yeah, and like with most of those teams, like the Denvers and the the Utahs and the Denvers, if you look at the teams that they're playing with, a lot of times, a lot of the players that they have, those are players that they drafted, cultivated into fantastic players. That was Rudy Gobert, that was Mitchell. They added there, and of course, they then added players like the point guard Conley there to help out, or what was the guy before they had him there from Spain? Was his Rubio? So I mean, they'll bring in some veterans to help the young pieces. But both of those teams were good drafting teams. Both Utah and Denver drafted well and built those teams and cultivated those draft picks.
Utah draft. I think they drafted all them guys damn near.
Man,
Utah.
all of them except for some
Other
of the
than
veterans.
Mike Conley and that's it. I think that's it. Huh? Everybody else is
right, because that's the Utah and Denver and most of these teams know they're not what we consider attractive destinations. OKC is another example prior to them getting rid of Durant and all them.
And all them guys on the teams, we had a chance to pick all of them. Q. I think Joker went like one pick after us. You know what I'm saying? Donovan Mitchell, I think we picked. I forgot who we picked. We picked somebody in front of him. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them guys, man, we had an opportunity to get them. Just had a horrible front office at the time, dude. And I don't know if we just overthink stuff even now. Like, we just think too hard on decisions. Like, as much as I like Kyra, even this last draft, we could have went a different direction, and been better short term if that was the goal. But, we're going to have to see how he pan out. So our 3 draft picks, what's going on? Super Mario.
Debo called Stan Van Gundy Super Mario.
Somebody need to get that boy some damn mushrooms. Then.
Oh man, they call that man Super Mario. Go ahead, DC. I'm sorry, I couldn't hold that one in, bro.
That's pretty funny.
That's funny, man.
But I mean, we might have it in the making, bro. I mean, we got Zion. NAW looks like he can be really good. Jackson Hayes as well. We get to see the Didi Lozada experience next year. Maybe he can be somebody, and we might be talking about the Pelicans in that same vein next couple of years ago. Huh?
Yeah, and that's a part of it, man. We're gonna see, man, because like I said, a lot of these teams you look at, like you talk about Denver and people making the comparisons with Denver and Utah. Those teams have a vision for what they're doing there. Denver and Utah, they've been competitive for years, man. And for the Pelicans to get there, and what reason why we've been so dysfunctional and missing the playoffs, because we had no vision. A lot of these people that was tasked to put on top of the team, they ain't know what the hell they was doing. Dale Dempsey ain't know what the fuck he was doing. He would draft players like, remember Brandon Bass? We had Brandon Bass would come up.
Man, Brandon Bass was actually a good player too, bro.
But Brandon Bass, he couldn't develop Brandon Bass. Bass left and developed into a good player. He brought him back. He did that several times with different players that we drafted. Monty Williams would be like, I want this player, and he'll give him another. I was like, we
might as well bring back Buddy Hield because that was one of the last guys he got. Huh? We might as well complete the circle, aren't you?
I mean, I'm just saying, bro. It's order to be put on that level, like a Utah or Denver, and we know these guys haven't won anything, as of yet. But I'm saying you've got to be there competitive every year to at least have a shot at getting into the finals. You got to be in the playoffs to get a shot at the championship. So I mean, we have to be, and you year after year, it's San Antonio, it's Utah, it's the either Laker team, Laker or Clipper, either Los Angeles team is in there, it's Portland in there somewhere. It's always those teams in the West. You'll see a Houston circulating in there most years. This year, of course, is a little different.
Houston gone for about 5 years, bro. It's gonna take
Right,
about
but
5 years to get together.
well, they also got a new general manager and they bombed the whole thing and starting over again. But for years, those teams were competitively and consistently in the playoff race. The Pelicans haven't been in the playoffs since what was it, the 2018 season? So I
Yeah.
mean, we this is ridiculous. In order to have, we have to be consistently and competitively in the playoffs to be taken seriously to build up that base. So I mean, that starts with great drafting. We have to be able to draft with a vision, not just drafting guys off of talent and not knowing what the hell we're gonna do with them. We got to be able to have it's a plan for everything. And I think our plan is a little bit slurred a bit. But anyway, DC, let's get into cover this final article because I'm anxious to kind of open up the lines of communication as well. This one's called New Orleans Pelicans. 2 prospects dominate the NBA mock draft for the Pelicans. DC, we talked about this off show from Mr. Keller Strauss. He says the Pelicans are currently slotted to choose 10th in the upcoming NBA draft, though that could certainly change in the lottery, and it most certainly probably will. Pelicans do have a 20.3% chance at a top 4 pick and a 4.5% chance at number 1 overall. So it's not unthinkable that they will move up as they did when they lucked out and got Zion Williamson in 2019's draft. But it's most likely that the Pelicans would choose around 10. So most current NBA mock drafts have them choosing there. The Pelicans have a lot of glaring problems that need to be fixed, most notably with defense and three-point shooter, which were both near the bottom of the league this season with the Pelicans. I looked at 9 mock drafts to try and get a consensus about which players the media outlets like for the Pelicans, and there were 2 guys who got most of the votes. I looked at Tankathon, the CBS Sports, USA Today, Bleacher Report, NBA Draft.net, ESPN, NBA Draft Room, NBC Sports, and The Ringer, and 8 of 9 chose one of 2 prospects. One addresses the defense, while the other one is for the three-point shooting. And I want the family members in here to put in there who they like or who they think the Pelicans should draft if we do pick at 10. Y'all put the name of the guy that you think would be a perfect fit. I want to get you guys insight on that. Drop it in the chat who you guys think will be, realistically speaking, who you think will be there at 10 realistically. All right, 4 of the 9 NBA draft prospects looked at and chose Corey Kispert from Gonzaga as the right prospect for the Pelicans, which makes sense. The Pelicans will look to improve upon the 25th ranked three-point shooting percentage, and Kispert might be the best shooter in the draft. He shot 44% from long range and looks like a guy who will come in and be able to contribute right away. He's 22 years of age and has that NBA range. The other one was New Orleans Pelicans, Davion Mitchell, who can help the defensive side. And Davion Mitchell is from Baylor, was also chosen 4 times out of the 9 NBA mock drafts. And this choice also makes a lot of sense, as Mitchell is considered one of the best on-ball defenders in the draft and probably improved his stock with a strong showing in the tournament. And like Kispert, Mitchell also shot 44% from long range on pretty good volume. So he should be able to contribute on both ends for the Pelicans off the bench and will be a nice compliment to KLJ. ESPN was one of 9 outlets that did not choose Kispert or Mitchell, instead going with forward Franz Wagner out of Michigan. Wagner makes some sense as a fit with Zion, as he can play a couple of spots and has a versatile offensive game from the forward position. Pelicans need to find a way to turn this draft into some impact talent, either through choosing a player who can help on one of their weaknesses or by trading the pick for a proven veteran. Well said and agreed. DC, let's get into this on Kispert and Mitchell picks. And you've talked about, I think you mentioned Mitchell to me before.
Yeah, he plays like the other Mitchell.
Right. I think that is true.
He
So
definitely shaped his game after him.
So with Mitchell, and I did see a couple of these drafts. I know what he's talking about with the ESPN and the NBA DraftNet draft does mention him. He's a pretty damn good player. Let's get some thoughts on both of these guys.
I like Mitchell, man. I think Mitchell is a good player. He definitely plays defense too. I don't hear a lot of people talk about that with him. A lot of them are always comparing him to Donovan Mitchell. You know what I'm saying? A lot of players in the league, have given him props. He was lighting it up in the NCAA tournament, man, and he has a very explosive, dynamic game, and he can sit out there on the 3-point line and knock them shots down too. Very quick. He could break you down off the dribble. He could be somebody that could kind of. He's not a real pure point guard to me, but he's more like a two guard. But he could play a little bit of the point. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He's small, so that's probably the only two places you could play him. He's not that big, probably like 6'3". You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's 6'4", 6'5", if I'm not
Yeah, they
mistaken.
list him at 6'2".
Yeah, he's 6'2". You know what I'm saying? Dame Lillard, Spidey Mitchell type mold. He got some hops and stuff.
I've
He,
seen
he
footage on this guy. He plays bigger than his size, though,
he
DC.
he does, man. I mean, he plays amazing. Like I'm just saying he's undersized, but he's a damn good player, man. I think he could come in the league and be an all star one day. I don't know how to be straight out the box, but if we played him, I think he'll be a guy that could be in the starting lineup or come off the bench and give us about what he's doing in college. I think his game translates to the NBA because when you watch what he does, he plays an NBA style of basketball right now. You know what I'm saying? So this could be a guy that could wind up being a steal of the draft. I know a lot of people get upset when they see us because they've been projecting him and they're saying if they get him, then they must be by the Lonzo Ball and all that. Not necessarily. I mean, you could incorporate him with Kyra and NAW. You can have your four guards that way, and Didi Lozada is just a specialty guy that you kind of use for defense. But most likely, if we do get a guy like him, probably would mean the end of Lonzo Ball. But and you probably would start Kyra, and I think he would have to come off the bench with NAW starting at two guard. And I think this guy would be a hell of a six man and probably challenge for a starting spot. So I actually like him. I like Kispers too, but I mean he's just a shooter. But this guy can be so much more. And out of the two, he probably had the biggest upside in my opinion.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, man. The other guy is a shooter. I was watching footage on him. He's not much defensively. The other guy, Kispert from Gonzaga, he tries,
She's a hell of a
but
shooter though.
yeah,
High
he.
volume
I
free
would
throw
say he
shooter.
probably the best shooter in the draft, man. It's just the Gonzaga kid, but not much on defense. But I mean,
Would you
like I
be
said,
mad if we got him?
not at all, because he fits a need. He fits a need for the Pelicans. We need defense and we need some guys to knock down some shots. And might I add, DC, not just from the guard positions, but from the forward positions. We can use some stretch bigs that can go along with that. If you
Right.
look at a couple of these teams like Utah, they have several bigs that can shoot the 3-pointer. They're not no,
They got
high.
about three of them, bro.
Yeah, they'll come in, they play 4 or 5 for you, and then you give them open shot, they'll knock your goddamn eyes out every time. So I mean that we can benefit from having a guy like that can play the 4 or 5 that can also that can take advantage of that. So I mean that's a part of it. So all right, fam. So that was the last article right there. We're gonna get into this thing here. We're gonna share the link for the family members in the chat if you want to pop in and spit your game. Feel free to join the Flocks
They say Cam
conversation.
Thomas. Was a lot of Cam Thomas talking there, bro. Y'all know we ain't drafting no LSU players on the Pelicans. All to say y'all might as well
Won't
get that
y'all
dream
stop
up.
it? Won't you stop it?
I done
But yeah,
gave up
that's
on them dreams, bro. We'll
yeah. I'm gonna
draft a
get
player from Ohio State before we draft one from LSU.
right.
But you better believe it.
It's like, why did you pick that? Well, Coach Sean Payton was standing in the room. He said, "Why don't y'all take an Ohio State guy?"
We
That
asked
sounds
Stan
like a
Van
hell of
Gundy,
an
and he
idea.
just started shaking.
He said he
So we
pointed
asked Sean Payton.
to Ohio State. What else? But yeah, that's interesting, man. But James says Zion is better than most players besides Booker and Jokic, and Brandon Ingram is right up there too. All right, thank you, Debo. Debo dropping some
I
stuff
gotta
in
agree
there.
with that, man. But I think Zion and Booker, man. I think that's a close one, bro.
I ain't saying nothing.
504 lady, well, you give him a call and get him on the show. 504 lady.
DC was waiting to say it. He was waiting for somebody to put it in the chat. That boy been throwing that damn dude at us for I don't know how long, man, trying to get me. We need to go and get him. We trade BI for him.
Man, I ain't never seen. I'm so sick of you talking about trade BI, bro. Who the hell gonna believe that nonsense?
All right, fam, we got the link in the chat, man. We got Brother Kenneth popping in first. Brother Kenneth, we're going to bring him on the stream. Brother Kenneth, welcome to the show. How you doing, brother?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
You got to turn. You got to turn YouTube off, my brother. You're echoing.
Oh, my bad. My bad. That's good.
Yeah, you good.
There you
now.
go.
What's going on, player?
All right. Not much. I'm gonna say thank y'all guys for doing this once again every week.
Thank you, Brother Kenneth.
But yeah, man. I was listening to y'all talk earlier, and I heard y'all say we need we get 2 for 1. But what's some dude name for Josh Hart and Najee Marshall and Didi Lozada.
Right.
But I think we really getting better players than them. I mean, than Josh Hart. Because you see, I don't know if y'all been keeping up with Didi Lozada's Instagram, but I've been seeing what he's been posting, and he back in the lab right now.
Mm-hmm.
He in the lab right now, and he. I watch his highlights from overseas, and you can see, like, I kind of agree with what the article said when he said he was off the dribble. Because Josh Hart, he could go to the hole, but you could see Didi Lozada could create a shot a little bit. He don't got a good shot, like he ain't one of the premier under 25-year-olds. But if he keep working in the lab like he's doing, he could be something. He could be off the dribble. He could really be something, especially with the defense. Not like I was saying, he ain't gonna be a good rebounder or nothing like that, but he gonna be way more solid, a good game all around game than Josh Hart. Because Josh Hart was all right defender, but he never really got to show off his stuff. But it seemed like Didi Lozada knows. It seemed like what they was putting him in, they know what Didi Lozada's good at, and they putting him at what he was good at in the game. And speaking for Najee Marshall was shooting, like I was telling y'all earlier in the season, Najee Marshall was shooting a high percentage from 3, and I was telling you, like, that was scaring me. I'm like, I don't think we bringing back Josh Hart, because it seemed like Najee Marshall, he was shooting a good, I don't remember what his percentage was, maybe I could look that up, but he was shooting a good percentage from 3, his shot was looking a little bit better than Josh Hart. And also he was getting to the hole the same as Josh Hart. He was creating. I mean, I never really seen Josh Hart create for other people. Najee Marshall was doing that. Najee Marshall was creating for everybody else on the team. He was looking like a nice little solid 3 guard. 3 guard. So I don't know.
I mean, you bring up some interesting points, man, and I'm familiar with Didi Lozada and NBL and watching him, and he definitely had made an impact over there, and his teammates loved him. Seen him, have some plays, but he was real streaky, with his shooting, and just I don't know, just off the ball, I didn't see his dribble penetration as bad. I just feel like him and Josh Hart, like, they're in the same ballpark. I actually felt like Josh Hart had a little more being able to finish, around the cup. Had like a little floater and different things. His reverse layup package. Josh Hart is I think a little better than people think once he gets to the rim and being able to actually get to the paint. But it's not really set up for him to do that. What we run, so you don't really see his full skill set. I actually, a lot of what I'm talking about for as this, I saw last year when we ran a more open offense, and he was able to utilize that more. I think players, when they was talking about guys being misused and all of that, Josh Hart was one of those guys that they were referring to too in the offense, and what Stan Van Gundy wanted to do, because we kept him as kind of like a stand around 3-point shooter this year, and that's not really his game. He kind of streaky with his shot. If he gets to the hole early and get it going, then you notice he hits his 3-pointers. But a lot of times he came in the game cold, just shooting 3-pointers and stuff. But Didi Lozada, man, is so much more than just a guy that can defend. But looking at Stan Van Gundy and knowing how it's gonna be, that's primarily what they're gonna have him do. But we seen him in the summer league with NAW and Jackson Hayes. I don't know if people remember, but Didi Lozada was hitting some big shots in those games, man, for us to win those games. And that was the first time he really caught my eye. He was making winning plays. The dude was getting steals. He'd go attack the hole, getting the layup or whatever. I'm talking about last seconds of the game stuff. Big time shots where you got to hit when the clock is winding down and you need them points. Didi was hitting them shots. You know, he wasn't hitting them at the clip as we remember NAW obviously taking over. He wasn't hitting them at the same clip as him. But when NAW wasn't taking the shot and they wasn't getting Jackson Hayes something going, guess what the other guy they was going to? It was Didi Lozada. So you absolutely right, man, with the potential of these guys. And Najee Marshall did shoot a pretty good clip from the 3-point line this year. I remember a lot of times, man, we didn't have nothing going. And, you know, that guy come in and give us 3 or 4 3-pointers. You know, that might have been all he did offensively, and he didn't do much else. But it was some big shots and some big threes that we really needed. So I just don't see both of those guys being better than Josh Hart when you add up the experience that he has, the little nuance that he has to his game to be able to get those rebounds, especially at crucial times. I can't tell you how many times Josh Hart got an offensive rebound we needed. You know what I'm saying? And his defense, I get what you're saying. That he's a good defender, but he just don't have the speed to keep up with everybody. So sometimes he can get exploited a little bit when you try to put him on the cream of the crop guys. But there ain't a lot of guys you can find in the league that can give you what Josh Hart gives you, especially off your bench. I mean, the dude is a guy with borderline starter level talent. Like realistically, he goes to certain teams, he could be a starter. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure if Najee Marshall and Didi Lozada is there yet, but you make a lot of valid points, and they definitely in line to do so. You know what I'm saying? I think they got a lot of potential, and Didi's 21, Najee Marshall's like 20, so got a lot of potential, man. They 4 and 5 years younger than Josh Hart, so.
Yeah, I feel like I mean maybe they're not better than them, but we definitely won that. Like we're not losing nothing. We're not losing nothing too significant. We definitely winning that on that side of it.
Right. Well, I mean, man, listen, it's at first I didn't really want to accept it. Y'all know I'm high on Josh Hart because I like the grittiness that he brings to the Pelicans. Because I would really like to adapt.
That energy, bro. The team
Right.
changed when he out there.
Right. That's what that is so undervalued, man. They have that toughness, that grittiness, that he has, and it's just that toughness. And that price tag of 10 point, whatever it's going to be over that, and you have Didi Lozada that they brought in and Najee Marshall, who's like severely cheaper, then it's really easy call to see that the Pelicans definitely setting themselves up to move beyond what Josh Hart is. So, I mean, but it's clear that we're not going to lose both of them. You're not going to lose Hart and Ball in the same season. So with Hart looking like he's on his way out, Lonzo Ball, in my opinion, is definitely going to be the guy that steps in. And I will have to say he has to be the number one. If you're paying them $80 million, like the article made reference of 1 4-year contract at $80 million or a 5-year contract estimated over $100 million, it just shows me that, we could be going in that direction. But then again, when you have such an unpredictable general manager and VP, you never know what he might do with these picks. We got all these goddamn picks. Look at these picks I done put on there. I knew we had a lot of picks, but just to remind the flock, look at the screen here. This is the Pelicans. Their picks for 21. You got a first round pick right there. You got a bunch of second round picks. You got a second round. The Pelicans own their own first and their own second. And then
we got the Lakers pick too. Huh? Well, no, that's next year.
You got Cleveland, Dallas, and Washington, and the Lakers pick is for the 2022.
Man, we need to trade about all four of them seconds, move up into the first round, man, because we know we ain't gonna do nothing but give them to other people. Right. Whatever the hell we draft.
We helped out a bunch of people last year, ain't no doubt about it, man. Tyrese Halliburton was a big one. We helped out a bunch of goddamn people last year.
Wait, hold up. How did we help out with Halliburton, Vicky?
Well, listen, man. Didn't we help him out with Halliburton? It was other guy.
RJ Barrett.
Barrett.
Not RJ Barrett.
Hampton.
RJ Hampton.
Right. So we help out when we can, even though it costs us opportunities in the postseason. But what that matter? Doing a good job or a good deed is his own reward, right? The Pelican charity. But I mean, outside of that, man, I think we'll be fine, man, in terms of what we're looking at in the draft. But I don't know how desperate the administrators are in terms of moving these picks for veteran personnel, because remember, he alluded to that. And of course,
I mean, we got to, man. There ain't no way in hell we don't even have the space to use all of those guys. We can
right.
only maybe use one or two of them, unless we
Well,
about to
you can get two.
we can
You
get
can
two.
trade. Right, you can package those twos and
We gonna
patch.
get rid of Wessel, Windu, and
Well,
uh.
well, let me ask you this: what package of picks would you use? And let me ask the flock this too. This is your picks for this year. Which pocket of picks would you use to add into a trade that ultimately gets Eric Bledsoe smelly ass off your team? Y'all won't chime in on that? All right, Kenneth, what you think? What you think? Which one of these picks we use? Which one
I
of these damn
mean,
picks we use?
this is just a hypothetical, like anything goes, or just some realistic stuff.
Well,
Anything goes, bro. I mean, we can start there and then go to realism after that.
So you saying like the first round pick or something, or like the picks like the second round picks?
Any pick, baby.
Any pick? Well, shit, if I got any pick, man, I'll use that first round pick. I mean, anything goes. I'll use those 2 second round picks, and I'll trade up, and then I feel like I would just buy out Eric Bledsoe and trade, and then try to get up to that
You say you gonna buy him out?
that's a
yeah.
lot of money for a
He
buyout.
got 18 million,
That's
bro. I mean,
18 million, bro.
Pelicans cheap, dog.
I mean,
this ain't LA.
That more
I'm
likely to
just saying, you
trade
say
him.
anything goes, anything
All
goes.
right. Well, we say the pick. Like what pick a collection of picks you use to
No,
get
that's what
rid
I'm
of.
saying. I would just like I'm just saying like I would buy him out and then I would just trade up to try to get like Jalen Green as shooting guard.
Okay.
I would trade up to get Jalen Green. I feel like he's gonna be a nice player. I've seen him in the G League. I feel like the sky's the limit with that dude. So that's what I would
Okay.
do. I would just trade up to get Jalen Green.
All
But
right, so
hypothetically, I would just try to trade and try to go after Marcus Smart or something like that. Marcus Smart trade. Well, I don't know if that gets Eric Bledsoe out here, but I'll at least try to get rid of Steven Adams and use Marcus Smart, and then yeah, but I wouldn't use the first round pick for Marcus. I mean, for the trade Bledsoe. I mean, to trade Adams. I would use the second round pick and trade him and get Marcus Smart if we could,
Okay.
which I'll do.
That ain't a bad move, man. To trade for Marcus Smart. Eric Bledsoe. I think Eric Bledsoe can get gone for maybe 2 seconds.
I
Probably.
don't see nobody picking him up. That's what I just
We
can't see.
probably would have to give our own second though. I don't think they would want
man, ain't
all these
nobody
other
taking.
teams that we bet on
You
when
see,
we was getting these picks.
you gotta entice the pot. You got a first round
Yeah, I
draft
don't
pick
see
at
nobody picking
21.
up.
I'm not trading my first round draft pick at 21. Could potentially be an inside top 10 pick just to
Well,
offset the
you
ridiculously
look.
of one Eric Bledsoe.
No,
It's
man.
got to be a collection of them second
It's a
round picks.
collection. That's what I said. A
Hold on, DC.
collection of second round
Before you
picks.
do that, let me hold your thought for a second, because I want to hear that. Let me bring in brother James Smith to the panel as well. I'm gonna bring him in, then I'm gonna get you to finish up on your thought. Brother James, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Doing
What's up,
good,
brother
brother. Go
James?
ahead on, and we're gonna bring you in here in just a second. DC, go ahead and finish your thought. Then I want to hear from brother James.
No, I was saying it take a collection of these second round picks. I was just saying that we would definitely have to use our own because when we were collecting all of these picks, I mean, you look at the names, you know what I'm saying? Cleveland, you would think they would suck, which they did. And then you look at Dallas, we probably was hoping they didn't do as well as they did. And what was the other pick? Washington, you definitely would think Washington would suck, but they made it to the playoffs. So we probably would have to take our own pick in that Cleveland pick, which would be higher than ours. And then we might have to actually looking at giving up something on our team to match the salaries or help them with the salary to be able to take on an Eric Bledsoe unless you just getting a team with unlimited salary cap, or you go at maybe somebody like New York who we wouldn't think might be interested in jumping on that because you got a guy for 1 year. You can get these picks to kind of load up on somebody, help you move up in the draft if you feel like you see somebody that you really want, and basically give us back little or nothing, or offload a little bit of salary if they need help with that, or any team that's trying to maybe do a reverse salary dump. I mean, at this point, you hear hypothetical stuff out there about Kevin Love and all of that. And I mean, Kevin Love, I'm not crazy about getting him, but I mean, goddamn, I think Kevin Love would be worth more than what we got from Eric Bledsoe, even though I wouldn't want us to get Kevin Love, so I ain't saying that. But you would definitely have to give up the two best seconds if you're trying to preserve that first, because I mean, I think to give up a first round pick in the top 10, I mean, that's a little high, man, to get rid of Eric Bledsoe. I think that's a little crazy. Unless you going at maybe a team like what I was saying, Indiana, and you're trying to get a collection of Malcolm Brogdon, or you're looking at a Miles Turner, or possibly both of them. If you talking about giving up a top 10 pick, and then you got to look on your roster and see who else you'd be willing to give up to possibly get both of those guys. If Indiana's willing to blow it up, but they fired the coach, so they might want to keep everybody they got and not blow it up. Or maybe they firing the coach and they gonna get rid of all their players too. So we really got to survey the landscape and see who's trying to get rid of what. We know Kemba Walker is up there. They want to get rid of him, but $37 million, I don't think so. Not for us. So you got to see who else is out there. There's rumors about Kyle Kuzma. I don't think we really want him, but his name out there. So you got to figure out what's out there, man, and then see a way you can go is using Eric Bledsoe as salary cap filler. Because other than that, Q, I don't think you can get rid of him just going at him with one pick, like you were saying. But I don't think it's going to be as hard as everybody's thinking, because if we got him this year, that this is his last year of his
It
contract.
is. That's a
You
great
know what I'm
point.
saying?
It
Because
is 1 year left.
the next year you could cut him for $3 million. You lose $3 million if you got rid of him, in the next offseason, and you couldn't flip him or incorporate him to be important the way you want to extend him or whatever. So
I
you
mean,
paying $18
this is
million
the point.
for some picks.
This is a great point. Great point indeed. Brother James, come on in here, brother. Drop your science on it, bro. What you think about some of the topics covered as well? What you got on your mind today?
What I was thinking, because somebody brought up Marcus Smart. One thing that you could do in DC, you brought it up about the Celtics wanting to get up off of Kemba Walker. Not us trading for Kemba Walker, but a Bledsoe could be the replacement for Kemba Walker. Because the one thing is that the Celtics don't really have a lot of money to play with. So what you could do is, when they decide to get up off of Kemba Walker, you could trade them Eric Bledsoe plus a couple of second-round picks that they could use for cash, because I think a lot of people don't realize that a lot of these teams can sell these second-round picks for cash. So
Right.
that may be something that they can end up doing. Or you could do a combination of stuff where you trade them Eric Bledsoe plus some second-round picks. Maybe if you're going to throw in a first round pick with Eric Bledsoe, it's not necessarily you're using it to get up off of him, but you may get back Marcus Smart, who is cheaper than Eric Bledsoe, could be the two guard, because I think he'll be due $13 million, and he's under contract for at least another 2 or 3 years. So he'd be that what you'll end up missing with Josh Hart when you let him go. So you get that. And at the same time, you may get another piece that may be on that team of the Celtics, because they're trying to figure out some stuff, trying to finagle some things around. And they are my understanding is they're trying to get Miles Turner. So that could be a situation where it's a 3-team trade that they may flip that 10th pick that you give to the Celtics to get Miles Turner, for them to get Miles Turner. So it could be a situation where you could get up off of Eric Bledsoe, you get Marcus Smart, you free up some money for yourself, and you probably get some other younger pieces that the Celtics may have, like a Naismith or maybe a Robert Williams. Is it Robert Williams, the tall dude?
Yes.
Okay, so
the big center.
maybe you bring
Robert Williams pretty good.
Right, maybe you bring him back, and he's not necessarily can be necessarily in competition with Jackson Hayes, as a lot of people bring up. He could be another power forward, like a power forward that you bring in that you can have coming off the bench and run big if you want to. So you can have that, and you still have some other options around that you can move and do things. So I think it's a lot of combination of stuff that you can get up off, because like DC said, I don't think it's going to cost a lot to get up off of Eric Bledsoe. I don't think it's going to, because a lot of people thought it could be a future first round pick, like maybe one of those very, very far Milwaukee Buck picks, first round picks.
That'd
But
be crazy to do that though, right?
But that's what a lot of people have been saying. But I agree with that. Like, I don't think it's going to require a first round pick to get up off of Bledsoe. I think a couple second round picks or a team that is necessary that's going to need a starting point guard, because as much as we doo-dooed on Eric Bledsoe all year, let's be real. We kind of know that it probably was motivation based. So if you put him on a team that needs a point guard that is trying to win now, like the Celtics are still trying to win, the Clippers are still trying to win. They need someone ultimately, because you got Rondo, but Rondo older, right? And you got someone like a Patrick Beverley, who is not a offensive threat at all. Eric Bledsoe at least is a lot better offensively than Patrick Beverley is. Hell, shit, even the Lakers, because the Lakers, their only option really is to overpay Dennis Schroeder or get a scrub, because they don't have no extra money to do nothing. So
picks either.
Right, so they don't have any picks either. But even then, like, if all you're doing is getting up off of Eric Bledsoe, like, hell, give us some second round picks for the shit, and so that free up $18 million this year, so we can use it for agency. Like, that's still a positive for us, even though they don't necessarily have first round picks. Anyway, so I think there's a lot of things people can do. I mean, a lot of things the Pelicans can do when it comes to Eric Bledsoe, and I'm personally in the boat of trading the 10th pick, regardless of, like, I don't think we're going to get no higher than at least 9th or 8th, maybe, if we fall right. But even then, unless it falls in the top 5, I'm all for getting rid of it and trading it for someone better. Like, one of the names that popped up to me, somebody brought up Buddy Hield, and I kind of thought about it. I'm like, as a 2 guard, like as a scorer, shooter with Zion, that's not bad, and his contract ain't terrible.
Buddy Hield was I was looking at a chart. I think I saw it was probably on Twitter. I think Sham Dula was a Pelicans reporter. He put up a chart, and Buddy Hield and Dame Lillard were the 2 guys that basically made the most 3-pointers in the last 2 years. Obviously, his thing was about assisted and unassisted 3-pointers, but Buddy Hield has quietly become a phenomenal 3-point shooter, and he's a guy that you have to respect. You know what I'm saying? If you could take that with that type of ability and you put that alongside a Zion and a Brandon Ingram, man, I just feel like that's dangerous. You know what I'm saying? That's a very dangerous combination. And Buddy Hield has like a $90 million contract or something like that. I know
Yeah.
at the time everybody was freaking out, talking about like it was a lot of money, but like looking at it now, it's like it's not really that bad. You know what I'm saying? Give a guy $90 million for 4 or 5 years or whatever they paid him. He was originally drafted here. He could bring him back home, and I just feel like that's what we missing. We missing that dead-eye 3-point shooter. If we look into last year when we had JJ Redick, man, and he was actually playing to the level that he was supposed to play at, and you actually had that little time with him, Zion and Brandon Ingram, and Lonzo Ball got to do his point guard thing, man, the Pelicans looked very dangerous with Drew Holiday as well. They looked very dangerous, man. It was a team that could pretty much beat the best of the best. It was all about consistency for them. But, we didn't fell off a long ways from that. But having that aspect of somebody who could knock down that 3-point shot, and we need another guy that could score basically at will if Zion or B.I. is having an off night, and fix our defensive issues, which I don't think is a player-based thing. It's more of a understanding and being able to buy into the system type thing. That the Pelicans can be deadly, man.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that made me laugh.
He won't stop with this Cam Reddish thing, man. Put Malcolm Brogdon up there. I've been saying Malcolm Brogdon forever.
I actually, when you say, I'm sorry, go ahead, Kay.
Cam Reddish had the same amount of points as you, Bledsoe.
Right. And he ain't even start.
Right. And I'm actually leaning more towards Brogdon myself. Like, if you're dead set, if you're the Pelicans and you're dead set on trading Lonzo Ball, then because Brogdon, his best position is point guard. So I would say that you could figure out a way to maybe do a sign and trade to one of the teams that really, really want Lonzo, like Chicago or I don't know about New York. I don't know if they got enough, particularly something that we want, but one of those teams, and then you can probably package the 10th pick with, I don't know, something else and go get Brogdon. The other thing is, though, on the Buddy Hield, I personally, because I like Lonzo and I want him to, I hope that he resigns because I believe that he's going to continue to grow and get better. But I understand if you feel you get better without Lonzo, fine, cool, do that. But I think that you could probably trade for Buddy Hield, keep Lonzo. You put Buddy Hield at the 2 guard and put Lonzo back at the position that he felt the most comfortable with. And you have Nickeil Alexander-Walker coming off the bench as like a Manu Ginobili or even Jordan Clarkson this year, like the 6th man, and you don't have to put all that pressure on Nickeil Alexander-Walker starting. And you got consistent scoring. Like you got 3 men on the court as the starting bench that could always get their own bucket. Like outside of Hill being a 3-point shooter, he is a bucket getter. Like he can drive to the basket. He could do everything else. And then if it's a situation where you can put a lineup out there where you have Zion at the point, like a 0.5, because everybody wants Zion to play the 5. You put him out there with Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Brandon Ingram, Buddy Hield. You got 6'4", 6'5" shooters, and then maybe you put Jackson Hayes out there. Like you running up and down the court, and who you gonna really guard? Because Jackson Hayes is at least a threat to shoot the 3. Like he's not shooting 28%. I think he at least shot close to 30-something% from the 3-point line when he did attempt it. Like he had hit like 2 or 3 in a row one time. So you're not going to leave him just like that. And if you do leave him, he's athletic enough to drive to the basket himself. So it's all kinds of different things you could do with any of these lineups. So, and I guess one more thing too, as far as like David Griffin, because a lot of people compared him to what was his mentor was Danny Ainge, right? The one thing I will say, the difference between those two is that I've never seen him sit on draft pick like Danny Ainge. Like even when he was with Cleveland, like he would make trades. Like even if like, cause I think people clown that trade with New York when they got can't think of Tiana Taylor's husband's name now, but he got them Shepard, yeah, and J.R. Smith. But that ultimately ended up being part of the package that helped them win the championship the second go around. So, like he won't sit on his hands. I know a lot of people was upset the last 2 years, but I think he was just waiting to see what would happen and how stuff planned out. And now that you realize, like, okay, 2 years passed by, it didn't pan out like want to. We got the assets now. Now we can use
it. Yep.
Yeah, but I was gonna say this too. I think Javion Mitchell is going to be better than Kara Lewis, so I would be looking forward to moving him and keeping. I don't know. I feel like this draft class is special. I don't know, for some reason I feel like this is going to be a special draft class that they have. They got a lot of good talent in the draft, so I want to keep that the top 10 pick. I think we could move up past the 10th. But I was watching Davion last night. He's 205 pounds at 6'2". He's a stocky dude, and he could get to the hole. He got 5 assists, and he shoots 51% from the field. I mean, I don't know, but I'm feeling like he could be a really, real good point guard. He could shoot the ball, he could pass it, and he tough. So I think I would keep him. I would keep that top 10 pick.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, if you get a top 10 pick as it stands, and we get inside the top 10, we got to use that pick to help out whatever we need on the team. The question moving forward is, okay, my thing is I think Lonzo stays. This is me. I think Lonzo stays, but at 1. So I give it to you what James was saying about Lonzo Ball. I agree with that. That's my feeling too. 2 guard. If we don't draft somebody to play the position, I think NAW should be there. I do like NAW to play that position. Plus his size, he gives you an effort. He needs to work on his defense a little bit. But remember, these guys you draft the first round, you put first rounders on these guys, so they're gonna have to pay. They're gonna have to pay big dividends for you. We already know about Bi and where Zion sits, but the other question is the 5. How long do we stay with Steven Adams at the 5 position? With Jackson Hayes excelling and the cheaper version in Billy Hernan Gomez there, who we can get back on the cheap, And of course, we can, with one of the picks, we could probably draft a young guy that could play 4 or 5, or find a guy, a couple of these stretch bigs that we need that could play the 4 or 5, a tweener type that can knock down a 3. So, I mean, that's a big question as well. So let me put that on the panel as well. Where do you guys' minds find that? Where do you think Steven Adams fits in the future of the plan? We're going to go with you first, James, then come back to Kenneth, then DC. I want to hear what you got to say, my brother. Go ahead, brother James.
I actually got a name for you. Kelly Olynyk.
Okay.
I think Kelly
Olynyk.
Kelly Olynyk. Like, I think he got, not necessarily, I don't want to say maybe a starting 5 in a sense, but, watching him play with the Rockets last year when Christian Wood went down, like, he played real good, spaced the floor. I want to say he averaged maybe 14, 15 points a game during that stretch. And got, like I said, 7 rebounds. And I want to say he's above 34, 35% from the 3-point line. Like, he shot a lot of 3, and he's a good free throw shooter. So, not necessarily sure that he's someone that you would bring in as a starter. But I know the fact that he came from Miami, that he knows how to play defense. He knows how to switch and do things like that. So if you come up off of Adams, and if you decide going into next year that you want to focus on Jackson Hayes as possibly being the starting 5, then I would say Kelly Olynyk would be someone that you could get in there to give good serviceable minutes, to where you're not putting all the pressure on Jackson Hayes to replace what Steven Adams gave you. That's at least one name that came up. I know a lot of people think about Miles Turner, but I'm not necessarily sure how realistic it is that we'll trade for him. But I think Kelly Olynyk, I don't think he's gonna cost too much in free agency next year if Houston don't try to throw the whole thing at him this offseason.
All right, Kenneth, appreciate that, brother James. Kenneth, you want to get what you think, bro?
Man, like I'll say like DC was saying, man, just keep him half the year. If we don't trade him, if you can't get Marcus Smart, but I'm not literally looking for nobody that can score the ball or nothing like that. I'm not looking, because we got that. I mean, we got everybody that can score. We got Lonzo. We got we need somebody obviously like all we need is somebody that's athletic. I mean, I was thinking about like if we could just get somebody cheap like Mitchell Robinson. I don't know what his contract looking like, or somebody or maybe somebody like Marc Gasol or something like that. Just somebody that could stand there, play defense on somebody, and get rebounds, and just not mess up the flow. Somebody that's kind of experienced but not really experienced. Just somebody that could just play defense, block shots, dunk the ball. Somebody that's kind of smart or something. Because we don't need Steven Adams really. We paying him too much, and we don't need no more offense because we got offense. We just need defense. That's the main thing. We need somebody that's gonna bang with AD. We need somebody that's gonna bang with Joel. We're gonna need somebody that could just hold down the paint. So that's all I'm looking for. Nobody specific, just anybody, really.
DC.
First off, I like what James was saying earlier about the Buddy Hield thing. When he got the Malcolm Brogdon, I like that too, but I would replace that with I would keep Lonzo Ball and Malcolm Brogdon, because Malcolm Brogdon, like Lonzo Ball, they could flip-flop depending on the situation. Malcolm Brogdon was a hell of a shooting guard too. We seen that on full display with the Milwaukee Bucks, and in my opinion, they haven't been the same team since they got rid of him. If they were smart, they should have kept him with Chris Middleton. I think we might have seen Milwaukee, that team, playing the finals, honestly. So I would have definitely kept him with Lonzo Ball. Obviously, if you're trading Buddy Hield, I'd still keep Lonzo Ball. I think that's an excellent thing too, because I mean, Malcolm Brogdon, I mean, he gets about 6 assists a game. You got Lonzo with 7 or 8, so it'll be kind of like you getting Drew Holiday back without all the defense, but you also have somebody that's like a better shooter than Drew Holiday with Malcolm Brogdon. As far as the center issue, getting rid of Steven Adams, the guy I would want to get is a guy I've been wanting to be here for years, since I've been kind of watching him float around. I think he's the perfect backup center. That would be Nerlens Noel. That would be the guy I would go after. I know we drafted him and we traded him for Drew Holiday, and I got a theme going on with Pelicans players that left and bringing them back home. But I just feel like he's probably the best guy that'll be available out there. If I think he signed a 1 year deal with the Knicks, but because last year he was a free agent, and everywhere he goes, like he was with OKC, man, the defense was better with him, and for whatever reason, they didn't want to keep him. Obviously, they blew up their team, so it made sense now. But I couldn't understand why they didn't re-sign him then. If the Knicks could decide to let him go, because they do have Mitchell Robinson, but I think he would be the excellent guy, man. He could kind of fill that role of stuff that we need from Steven Adams. He's a vet, probably. I think he's about the same age or maybe a little older than Steven Adams. But he's more athletic than Steven Adams, and he can block shots. He's gonna hold down the paint, and that's what we missing. I think Jackson Hayes is still learning how to do that, and I don't get, after seeing what I saw last year. You heard me kind of back up off the Miles Turner talk so much. I mean, I wouldn't be upset if we got Miles Turner, but we basically got a Miles Turner clone in the making in Jackson Hayes. If you look at the numbers, per 32, I think Jackson Hayes probably numbers would probably be better than Miles Turner. Obviously, Miles Turner is not the greatest rebounder. Same thing with Jackson Hayes. You know what I'm saying? They probably get around the same rebounds per 32 minutes. And he's starting to hit that 3-point shot. I mean, Miles Turner wasn't the prolific 3-point shooter he is, which I don't consider him prolific, but he shoots them at a high clip and he shoot enough of them. But he wasn't doing that when he first got in the league. It took him some years and he kind of started doing that. We're starting to see the maturization of Jackson Hayes doing that now. So to get Miles Turner would be kind of null and void to me. Kelly Olynyk, I think he's a good backup plan, backup option, a guy to get. And I don't think you could ever have. I know I just said we don't need Miles Turner because I'm looking at the price tag and all of that, but you can never have enough big guys like that could stretch the floor. Like, you get shooters at every position you can get. So a guy like Kelly Olynyk, I wouldn't be mad at either. I'm pretty sure we can make it work. We probably have to figure out some things defensively because he ain't gonna give you much there. But that dude, since he been with Boston, you know what I'm saying? He went to Boston and with Miami, he's lighting it up from behind the line, man. So he would be an excellent addition to have. And with Zion and what we've seen him and what he's be able to do, the main thing out of all of these guys we talking about, other than Nerlens Noel, because you always need a guy like that, one or maybe two guys that can just lock down the paint, play defense. All good teams have at least one or two guys like that. Other than those guys, man, it's all about getting guys that can shoot and play basketball with a high IQ. I mean, David Griffin says a lot of crap, but him saying that actually makes sense. Now, will we go out and do it is the other thing, but high IQ basketball players that can shoot always contribute to winning.
All right, well said, DC, and that's a major part of it, man. Is we got the my stance is on him is on Steven Adams is, I when you look at the statistics and then you look at the money, I just showed the family members several different bigs and players as well that we contemplating. You look at the numbers I just displayed with Billy Hernan Gomez and what he gave to you this past season. How about that? Almost 8 points a game with 7 rebounds in that thing. That's not numbers that ain't bad numbers for a backup big there. And remember, he was severely underutilized, and Van Gundy didn't start reaching into him until into the season, until he started realizing, hey, this guy could play. So I mean, it's just insane, man. But the reality is, I'm thinking about the money, but I can't really, Steven Adams to me, and I just showed Steven Adams his numbers. If you're making that kind of doing, I know his numbers, his contract, what this year, what is it, dips a bit than what it was last year.
17. He went down
17.
10 million.
Right. So I mean, still in all, if a guy that you're starting center like Steven Adams, I really want him to be producing a double-double. I want a double-double from a guy like that. I want a double-double for 12 and 10. That's not too much to ask for that kind of fat-ass money that I'm paying you. But you look at a guy making they paying him basically welfare stamps and used trash cans and dented canned goods for Billy Hernan Gomez. And Billy Hernan Gomez is producing these type of numbers for you. How about that?
He basically pretty much almost the similar numbers as Steven Adams.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So I mean that's and then he plays really smart game. He dishes the ball pretty well and everything.
His defense is my only thing with him, man. He just defensively,
you don't think we can help him get better though, DC? You can't help him get better.
I don't really think it's an issue. I don't think it's an issue with him getting. I just think he's just not athletic enough to be able to be what he needs to be all the time. Even Steven Adams, I think, moves a little better than him defensively. And Steven Adams, they ain't really got that great of movement. You know what I'm saying? But he moved better
run
than
like the shoes with the concrete.
Now, when you talk about on offensive end in that post and his footwork, and it almost reminds me of like Jahlil Okafor a little bit, man. It's like a guy that has an amazing post game.
Wow.
And he has the footwork in the whole nine. Like you see that bag and on offense, as a big man, he's like, wow, this is really impressive. And then you go run back down the other side of the court and he's like, ooh, damn, I see why you're not starting. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it's something where he could really, in Detroit.
What did they do to my dog?
First of all, he need to get rid of the dreads, man. That's not working.
That's tearing up his game, bro. That's tearing it up, bro.
Look at the picture.
And remember, a lot of people got mad we didn't bring him back. Like a lot of people.
It didn't work well, whatever they was doing, bro.
I liked him. I liked him here, man. I liked him.
24 rebounds. I think he was hurt, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was injured.
He might have been hurt. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But you notice something. Y'all notice something very peculiar, right? He went to the Detroit Pistons. Now, remember, who got hurt? Derek Favors got hurt. I think Drew Holiday got hurt last year. And it was like just Lonzo Ball out there. I think B.I. might have been hurt. Zion might have been hurt. It was Lonzo Ball out there with Jahlil Okafor.
They won that game, didn't they?
They played the Detroit Pistons. And I said it when we talked about it last year. He basically destroyed Andre Drummond's career.
Yeah.
He made
21 points on him, wasn't
it? It was more than 21, Q.
Was it? I thought it was 21.
I think it was more than 21, man. It was you might have had like it might have been like a 28 point or 26 or something. It was more than 21.
Yeah, he showed he was
he dominated. He dominated him, bro.
Yeah.
And what they do? They brought out Andre Drummond and they signed Jahlil Okafor. Go figure.
He had 25-14 that day.
25 and 14. Yeah. He played like a top level guy, and I was like, man, with the right support behind him, Jahlil Okafor might be able to be a starter in this league. And Willie Herman Gomez give me that same type of vibe, man. They get very similar in that way to me.
All right, we're gonna bring in. We got one more addition to the panel. We're gonna bring in DJ to the Pelican post game report. Now we're gonna bring him in, State of the Pelicans DJ, and bring him into the stream. DJ, how you doing, my brother? How you feeling today?
Yo, what's going on, everybody?
What's going on with you, my friend? Welcome to the stream.
Hey, so I see y'all. My bad. I see y'all talking about big man. Would y'all bring back William Gabriel?
Yeah,
I would.
Good, DC.
I definitely would bring back William Gabriel, man. I mean, for them little, what we paying him? A bag of peanuts and some potato chips? Which is it?
You got let's see here. You got dented canned goods. You got dented canned goods, which is usually free. You go behind the grocery store there.
The ones they give you at church when you ain't got no food.
Get them from the supermarket because they ain't gonna sell dented. They ain't gonna sell the dented canned goods. They throw away a lot of stuff like that. You go back in the behind that supermarket that they got a big bin of dented cans. Right, and that's what they've been. Not inside of the grocery store in the back when you walk
they all bruised up.
Right, they got dented cans and stuff and people be taking that shit and bringing it home. And I was like, man, I remember one time going back there saying, why don't y'all get that to somebody? Oh, we can't do that. I was like, why not? Said, because man, if somebody open that can, they get sick, they can sue us. So I said, what you do? He said, we just throw it all out. I said, y'all throw out all that shit? He said, yep. Because the idea is the can is dented, it's compromised, the seal inside the can, all that kind of foolishness. So whatever. But go ahead, bro. Go ahead. I ain't mean to get off top. But yeah, dented canned goods and used trash bags. How about that?
But yeah, when Gabriel, bro, was he was showing that he could be one of those stretch forwards that we saying this team needs. Obviously, he wouldn't be the only one. We still would need another one. But I like what I saw him when they finally allowed him to play and to get comfortable. He looked a little goofy at times with certain stuff. But I mean, he's a guy that could go out there, man. He gonna hustle on D, gonna make some plays, gonna be real scrappy. And on any given night, he get 3-4 3-pointers, man. You know what I'm saying? Obviously has some areas of his game he needs to improve. But for what we paying him and what you can get, you know, as a rotational piece, I don't see why anybody wouldn't want to bring him back. What is it, 1.8 million? I think we would be on the hook for him.
Right. It's very minuscule amount of money
Gotta
compared
bring
to
him back.
right. I mean, and then the thing about it, those numbers would have been a lot better had they utilized Winion Gabriel a lot earlier. Because remember, we were on that.
He played the last 3 games. This man waited all year to play
He
the
was hitting
last 3
three.
games of the season.
Remember, he was hitting
He was
3-pointers.
productive.
Right, he was running the floor, playing, and he was active on both sides of the offense and defense. He was hitting 3-pointers, and you just need to give a guy some time to get in there. Van Gundy waited all that time before he gave Winion Gabriel. It's the same thing with Billy Hernan Gomez. It was the same damn thing with Najee Marshall. It was a pattern to this guy because he one of these old guys. It was so mad, and I just wanted to slap the piss out of Stan Van Gundy and most nights because he would sit up there and play Eric Bledsoe, and Bledsoe is literally out there just lost at times, just standing out there. His man cutting, going to the basket, and he's standing up there watching the guy. And then he plays the next damn game. So, I mean, you see guys out here that's waiting for effort. You don't reward guys that's not paying attention, that's having problems. Put Eric Bledsoe on the bench, but that's how it went. So, I mean, but go ahead, DJ. What else you want to add to that, brother?
But yeah, y'all remember it. They was like, yeah, he don't know the playbook. He don't know the playbook.
Oh,
it looked like he didn't need to know the playbook. He just need to sit in the corner and just do the game.
Right.
He don't have no playbook.
What players that'll get a rebound?
Yeah,
and stand in the corner and shoot a 3. What play that is?
But he said that early in the year. And it wasn't like until 30 games later.
We gave him like 30 games. Right?
It was like 30 plus games later before he started getting 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 10 minutes. It was insane.
Well, that was. It took him 30 games because he didn't get enough practice time, and the way he was practicing last year, he had to accumulate exactly 100 practice hours, and it took them 30 games to get 100 practice hours. So just a little strategic strategy that the Pelicans followed. Like when we were slowly bringing Zion Williamson back from that injury, we had to do the minutes restriction, and it was very, very, very practical that we handle things in such manner to ensure the long-term success of Zion Williamson. And we also had plans for Winion Gabriel's minutes as well. It benefited him greatly.
Is this Griffin or Super Mario talking?
Both. I'll try to do a combination of them. Extremely.
So
to not play at all. That made him a better player to not play at all.
So look,
what kind of psychobabble is that?
So look, I'm gonna throw out because I also been watching some Pelican mock drafts or people mock drafts. I'm gonna throw out maybe 2 names: Moses Moody, and if so, Jared Butler. Both of them shooting guards.
Okay.
I don't know if we need another shooting guard. I think we need either like some type of center Power forward. That's funny how they already got that. But yeah, I think we need. I feel like we stacked because we already got what's the shot? I mean Gilgis Alexander, and we got Didi Lozada. So I think any more shooting
But
guards.
Didi Lozada, he's like a 3.
Yeah, but then they're
Kinda.
gonna play Najee Marshall though, so he's gonna be playing the 3 mainly.
Okay, well, yeah, I forgot about Najee. I forgot about my boy. Okay, 6, but 6. Okay, all right. So, I mean, if you still okay, so if we let go Josh Hart, somehow we get rid of Eric Bledsoe, you're gonna still need an extra shooting guard.
You probably go trade for Marcus Smart.
Yeah,
I
we're gonna
think.
trade for somebody that's.
Yeah, I personally think that the Pelicans, unless, like I said, unless that pick just jumps so high, that it'd just be stupid for you to trade the pick, because I think it's two to three guys that everybody think are like the cream of the crop of this draft. It's the USC center, Cade Cunningham, and Jalen Green. Like, those are the three guys that everybody say, like, if you can get these dudes, get them, right. Outside of that, I don't think nobody else helps us right now. And I think what the Pelicans are trying to do this year is they can't risk bringing in another rookie, hoping to God that that's going to be something to help us get Zion into the playoffs. Now, if you can draft that person and then you can sign somebody in the offseason, that's cool. But I don't think the Pelicans are betting on bringing in nobody from in free agency. I think they're gonna try to, but we already know it's hard to get people into small market teams through free agency. So I think they're trying to trade for people that have at least 2 to 3 years on their contract. That way, so you can secure them. You don't have to worry about them next year and the year after. They're trying to get people that got contracts already paid for that you can plan your team out for the next couple of years. And then at the same time, you have so many other draft assets that even if you trade this year's, like, it ain't like you can't ever draft in a draft again, because that Laker pick of 2022 looking real good right now. Like like that 2022 pick looking real good with how they going about it. So I don't really think they gonna really draft nobody this year in the first round at least.
Hey, Big Q in DC. Well, anybody can answer. Would y'all like to trade Steven Adams to like the Spurs or anything and get like a DeMar DeRozan some of that nature?
I actually, man, I like DeMar DeRozan a lot.
I do
I
too.
really
I
do.
do too.
I do. I do. But I think in order for us to get a DeMar DeRozan, like, we gotta kind of change the way we structure our team a little bit, because I mean, what are we gonna stagger him and Brandon Ingram? Like, they want to do the same thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Both of those guys like value the mid range game and attack the cup. Brandon Ingram shoot more threes than DeRozan. DeRozan ain't really no big 3-point shooter. I like his game. I think it works. I just think you probably gonna have to, like, you can't not start DeRozan, but it's like, how am I gonna make this work? Obviously, anytime Brandon Ingram is not playing, DeMar DeRozan got to be out there, because they both got to be out there to close out the game. He's a hell of a closer. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He plays decent defense too. A lot of people don't give him credit for that, and I just think he's an excellent player, man. But it's just a weird fit with Bi and Zion to me, knowing that he
Yeah.
wants to operate that mid range game, and that's kind of what Bi primarily, is at. Like, he spent a lot of time right there in the mid range, so I don't know how that'll fit. And if you're talking about, okay, we getting rid of Lonzo Ball and we getting somebody else or something else with him, then you're giving up Steven Adams and getting a guy like DeJounte Murray or something, or even the white kid. You know what I'm saying? Then yeah, I could see that and making sense, but we would just have to fill our backup center role, and I'm not really excited about Jacob Pertl from over there. So Maybe we
DC,
take a draft pick too.
the DC, you almost made Big Q stroke out when you said stack.
Say who?
You almost made Big Q stroke out when you said stagger. He ain't trying to hear nothing about no stagger again.
Well, what we gonna
Not a
do, Q?
damn thing.
Man, I don't see Bi. I'm sure they could figure it out, but I feel like what we got. I'm sick of trying to, especially after seeing Bledsoe and Steven Adams. That was the mindset last year. It was like, okay, these guys are quality players. Just throw them out there and let them figure it out. That shit ain't work. We need to have something that we know is gonna mesh well together and work. So I'm not sure. I'm sure about DeRozan unless we're gonna do something extreme like Zion. They'll have a lineup where they run Zion at point guard. We got Bi at power forward or something. Some crazy, amazing shooter that's unnamed at small forward with DeRozan out there and Lonzo Ball. Something like that might work. But when you're not running that lineup and you go to your base lineup, with I guess maybe not a sniper out there, then you're probably not gonna want to play DeRozan and Bi together. Just can be kind of weird.
Yeah, but that's what it takes a coach though, DC, to redefine roles.
We don't
for
have
teams.
one. We don't have one to do that.
I'm saying if you can make them understand what they're playing for, I mean that's a whole
But you
nother
gotta be
thing
forward. You
altogether.
gotta be forward thinking and extremely creative. And I think Stan is kind of creative. I don't think he's that forward thinking and that creative to make that work. Maybe I'm wrong. Because I mean we had the thing in Orlando, and when you start naming those players, just looking at them on paper, you wouldn't think that would work. Jameer Nelson, Hidolo Turkoglu, Rashard Lewis, and I don't know who else they had. Q. Am I missing somebody? Who was playing power forward?
It was Rashard Lewis power forward. Then you had Turkoglu who was small forward.
Right.
JJ Redick was.
JJ Redick wasn't starting though. They had somebody else started at shooting guard.
Nelson was
What was
the point
that guy's
guard.
name? Courtney Lee. Courtney Lee, I think, was starting shooting guard.
Was he coming off?
I'm not mistaken.
I think he was coming off. He was starting because JJ
Redick started
defensive
shooting guard, and JJ Redick came off the bench.
Right, because his defense and ineptitudes, he wasn't really that hitting. Yeah, Courtney Lee.
So
he stole a lot of money in the NBA. Courtney Lee.
But in that template, I mean, what we gonna put Zion? Zion would be Dwight Howard. So Zion running 5.
I don't like him at the 5.
Yeah, I don't like him at the 5 either for defensive purposely. I think offensively he'd tear teams' ass up, but defensively, I don't think Zion is built to guard no centers, man. He's not a turbocharged Draymond Green, David Griffin. Stupid ass shit.
Don't forget about Ryan Anderson.
Who?
Don't forget about Ryan.
And Anderson came. He might have been with
Stan Van Gundy.
Anderson wasn't there when they went to the championship. When they was at their peak, is what I'm talking about. It might have been Stan Van Gundy still there, but he was later. Ryan Anderson was later.
Because 08, 09, because I think they brought Ryan Anderson in after they lost Turkoglu. Like Turkoglu went to the Raptors. I want to say Turkoglu signed with the Raptors or something like that after that.
His career went down the tubes after that.
Yeah,
no, I think he might have went to the Spurs. He was at the Spurs with the Spurs at one point, I think. But after Sacramento and Orlando, that was the height of his career.
Yep, he got a job with Sacramento too, thanks to Stojakovic.
Yeah.
That was his dog. Stojakovic was Turkoglu's dog. But go ahead, what you saying, DJ?
What is Ryan Anderson name?
At home.
I was gonna say on permanent injury reserve, but that was better.
What you mean his ass at home?
He right there with JJ with his family.
Why? We did. JJ said he wanted to be with his family. We made sure he got there in the first round. Huh?
Look, real quick. Hey, did y'all see the video? Or they were talking to Cade Cunningham, and they're like, "Who are some of the young guys that you like watching?" And Cade Cunningham was like, "Man, I really love watching Zion." JJ was like he was mouth all twisted up and everything. Like he was trying to.
Yeah, I saw that. I watched it.
Man, you can't be that goddamn vindictive, bro. People paid you millions of dollars and you ain't do shit half the time. You gonna be that mad?
Look. I don't think he's gonna be on the team next year, bro. I don't think he's gonna be on team. He couldn't stay
Nah,
healthy this year,
somebody gonna pick him up because I
bro.
mean it was a weird year this year, and they kind of when you get traded from one team to the next, I think they give you like a little bit of a pass. Somebody will try him and see what he could do. Now if he
That
go
man,
in
that man,
the little training
that man
camp
played
and mess
12
that up,
games.
that's a wrap.
That man played 12 games all year. I feel
With a heel, that boy had a heel injury. I was like, what? I ain't never
Melly
heard
had
of
more.
that shit.
Melly had more playing time in playoffs than he did.
That's sad.
That's sad.
Melly was out there getting dunked on and shit.
Nah, but I thought he was faking his injury for the longest. And then when I see him play in the playoffs, I'm like, wait, this something serious. It wasn't messing around with this.
I don't know. He
Yeah.
could have still been fake because he didn't want to be in Dallas either. Like if you imagine you Dallas Mavericks and you about to be a playoff team, and you sit there as a dude complain, I don't want to be here. Like, man, all right. Like you
I
know
know
what?
he
Stay.
probably came in there with that attitude of pouting and shit.
He said he sat down with Mark Cuban. He's like, yeah, Mark, I was totally blindsided by this. I love your team and organization, but I don't know if I could play or nothing like that.
This dude crazy,
JJ
man.
got to
He
come up
really
off
said
of
that,
that.
bro.
He got to come
Look,
up off. Yeah,
that's why I said-
Especially with a guy like Luka Doncic, man. I mean, y'all could
Right.
have made a run at a championship, bro.
I got a question. I got a question for y'all because I've been seeing this pop around. It was two questions that I heard pop around on Twitter today. One is about CJ McCollum, and then the other one was about Kristaps Porzingis. Me personally, I'm not a fan of neither one of them dudes. Like I think CJ McCollum can play. I don't know if he fits very well with this team because he don't play no liquor defense. So but at least he can score. But Kristaps
He can
Porzingis,
score when he
think
helps.
when you right, but I think when you got KP, that's just street clothes too. You know how they call AD street clothes. He's street clothes too. So, but what y'all think about them two?
Well,
I mean,
go ahead, DJ. My bad.
well, see, I heard not even CJ. I heard Dame. I mean, I'm pretty sure Dame not gonna leave Portland, but
He gonna probably know New York.
So I mean, Kristaps Porzingis, yeah, they'll stretch the floor with with Lonzo shooting. Like we have a stretch five pretty much. So I mean, if everything going through either Bi or Zion, it's a win-win situation. That's my thing. And what he doing in the playoffs, that's really up in the air.
Yeah, I think Jackson Hayes is really kind of could be better than Porzingis at that rate. Like Porzingis barely played, and Jackson Hayes, if he could just get the minutes and keep working on his game, he could be way better than Porzingis. He way more athletic. He working on his three. He got a good post game. He played better defense than Porzingis. So Porzingis really ain't nothing special to me.
Y'all forgetting one major point that everybody seems to overlook when they talk about Porzingis coming to the Pelicans. And that point is he is not happy playing with Luka Doncic. And they're going to the playoffs and shit. And he talking about he not being utilized enough. How the hell he gonna feel being the third leg to Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson? Dude, then they tried to trade for him at one point. I think we was with the AD thing. It was stuff before he went to Dallas, and he said he ain't want to come here. It had nothing to do with the organizations. He said he ain't want to come here. So guess what? We don't want your broke knee ass either. So he can stay where the hell he at because he got some shit with him, man. The dude over there getting paid $30 million, playing with probably one of the best players that franchise ever had, other than Dirk Nowitzki. And he talking about he don't like his role or whatever. I'm like, man, you ain't do shit last year. Go sit down, dude. They paying you $30 million and you coming out complaining and you play like ass. I don't want no player like that. So they keep him. But
go ahead. I'm
go
sorry.
ahead, brother. Go ahead, brother.
Oh, I was saying this how sad it was for me, bro. Because like if you talk about a couple years ago, then I'll probably be on that train. But when I watched the Clippers and Ty Lue decided to put Reggie Jackson on this man in the post, and he did not dominate this man, who I think Reggie Jackson is maybe 6'4", 6'5", and Kristaps is all of 7'3", and he did not dominate this man.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, Yeah, I don't want that on my team. Like there's no way that you could be 7-3 and allow a guard to guard you, and you don't at least come away with 25, 30 points and 15 rebounds. Like there's no way in hell that should happen.
No, that's not even logical in any sense of imagination that a
Well,
man that big and talented will allow a smallish player like that to stop him in any regard. I mean, if he's as I mean, the a unicorn as he's called has gotten a lot of money. He was pretty fragile in New York when he played okay, but he just wants some shine. Luka Doncic is the star of that team, and I don't think he gets that he's the complement to Luka. He's not. It's not like a shared thing, like it's a
he
Zion and
still he
Pi
still
working
think he in
together.
it with the Knicks or something.
Exactly. See, he got a star mentality. He's not the man. It's Wonder Boy. Wonder Boy is the man of that team and shines at every level. And Luca, I mean not Luca, but the unicorn is there to help him to achieve, and he's not happy with that.
But
That Luca's getting a lot of that credit.
you know what real stars do though, right, Big Q?
They
They
shine.
go out and then they take that shit and they shine. They
They
don't
shine.
sit there complaining and talking about they won't go somewhere else because they ain't shining. You got too much. You got too much tint in front of the people. They can't see my twinkle. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he is called the unicorn. So I mean, we talking twinkle. The twinkle twinkle is that fits with unicorn. There's no doubt about that.
So
Man,
he was hurt though. In his defense, he was hurt last year. I give him that one.
and
That
this
was
year,
last year. Cut that out, DC.
I think the dude
Did he
tore
just
his,
cash app you to say that?
nah. I was just tearing his ass up a little while ago. He was destined.
on 2K,
I'm just saying.
That was last year.
I think he can. He still has the ability to be a good player, and I think he might shock some people wherever he winds up. I think he was still hurt from his ACL because the year prior, before he got hurt, the dude was very impactful. But where I wash my hands with him, I'm of the firm belief, even before the Eric Gordon thing happened with the Pelicans, I don't want nobody here who don't want to be here. I don't give a fuck how good you is. If you don't want to be here, I don't want you here because you're just gonna mess everything up, and that's how it goes. So he sucked this year, and he need to shut the hell up, work on his game, get better. Then you could request a trade when you playing at a star level. That's my opinion on that.
Look at these numbers, bro. This man put up this year. Look at that.
He don't want to play with
28
that.
8, 28
He
8
don't,
8.
he don't want to play with that.
That's like ridiculous. This man 28-8 and almost 9 on the assist. This is utterly ridiculous.
That's LeBron in his prime numbers.
And then he's not selfish with it. He gets in there, get the rebounds, he dishes the ball to get teammates involved. That guy, the unicorn, is really feeling himself. Go ahead, brother James.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like as much as we love Zion, we can say currently, at least right now, Luka Doncic is the better player, right?
Yes.
Like you would think that Luka Doncic, the way his game is, that a player like a unicorn would flourish with Luka Doncic because his ability to pass the ball, shoot threes, shoot mid range, and everything like that. As much as Zion, we love playing Zion, he is not on Luka's level of being able to score on all 3 levels and pass the ball like that. Right. Ain't no way in hell that I could believe that he will flourish better with Zion if he's not doing that with Luka. And then even with Dallas, they don't even have a Brandon Ingram. So you were the second guy. Like if it wasn't Luka, you were going to eat off of Luka. Here it's Zion, Brandon Ingram, and then you.
Unless NAW having a high shoot night, then you got to get behind him.
Right. Right. So I don't sit there and I don't see that happening. Like I understand the love for the shooting big. Everybody wants that guy that can go out to the 3. Like me personally, that if we're going to go all out for a big man that can stretch the flow, the only person that I see us going after that I would really, really love is Karl Anthony Towns. Like if we can pack, if we gonna go all out, if we gonna just say, hey, you know what, we got enough picks, we can ball out this year. Karl Anthony Towns is the dude that I feel that if you're gonna give up a lot of draft assets, that he's the one to go after as far as the big man, because not only is he's great I ain't gonna say a great 3-point shooter, but he's a real good 3-point shooter. He's a real good in the post. Like his post moves are ridiculous. Like he's a very, very good post player. And I think he's adequate enough defensively that if, like you say, BQ, you brought Stan Van Gundy in to coach up the defense. If he is the defensive coach that we think he is and has been, that I don't believe that Karl-Anthony Towns is so bad on defense that he can't get something up out of him to where you build a good team defense around that, and he still can switch and do, because he's very athletic. The only thing is you got to worry about with Karl-Anthony Towns is, where his mental headspace is right now, because he went through a hard time last year, right?
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, I think for the most part, with him not having to carry the franchise and he's the second or third option on the team, maybe that's pressure off of him that maybe, whatever is he dealing with is not going to, we're not going to see it on the court. Like it's not going to affect him on the court. But yeah, that's the only big man that I feel that if we really, really going to go get for that reason is Karl-Anthony Towns.
Man,
Well said.
that's a big one now, man. It take a lot to pull that off. We got to gut our team, but as long as we can keep Brandon Ingram and Zion, bro, I think that'd be scary, bro. That would be scary.
I don't know if we can be able to get that. I mean, it'll be wonderful if we could. I mean, that would be a big piece of it, man.
I mean,
definitely make you must see TV to have Big Cat, Zion, and Bi playing together. And you got 1,000 draft picks.
we got to give up everything else. Jackson Hayes gone, NAW gone, Kyra gone.
You got.
We probably get to keep Didi Lozada. We give up all our draft picks.
You got a lot going out. Yeah,
we got pretty much everything, man.
I think pretty much you can swing that. Even you can swing that and not have to give up even to kill Alexander Walker.
How?
Because
you giving up Brandon Ingram? Like what are you gonna give up?
Well, I'm gonna tell you that. Like, look at the draft, the trade that had happened, the James Harden trade. Like, there's a median between what what Houston got for James Harden, which wasn't a lot, and then what the Bucks got for Drew Holiday. Like, there's an in between there, because a lot of people look at the Drew Holiday trade as the benchmark because of what we got for him, and he's not necessarily a superstar. But James Harden, who was probably the best player that was traded the last 2 or 3 years, did not get that much. So if you think about that, I think you could trade, like you said, you could trade a Jackson Hayes, so they still get their big man. You trade this year first round pick. You probably trade 2022 Lakers first round pick, and probably 2 or 3 other pick swaps right there, because outside of that, we have 11 first round picks over the next 7 years. That's 5 first round picks. So far, the deal for people is usually between 3 to 5 first round picks. So put in 5 first round picks. You put in Alexander Walker, Jackson Hayes. Maybe if you throw in now, I think a lot of that revolve around where Timberwolves fall in this year's first round pick. Because if they get the first round, the top 2, the issue that they fall in is that all the top 3 players are guys that they already have. They have a great shooting guard. I mean, not a great shooting guard, but a real good shooting guard in Anthony Edwards. They have a real good point guard in D'Lo.
Russell.
And then you have Karl-Anthony Towns. So you have pretty much 3 positions that you already have in those situations. Now, I don't think you would be dumb enough to trade out, but since the one thing that is hurting the Timberwolves, he said, "Hey, bro, everybody said this ain't 2K, and guess what? We traded for Boogie Cousins. Then nobody said you couldn't even do that on 2K. Like, you couldn't even do that on 2K. So we got Boogie Cousins. So I'm not gonna sit there and say that it can't be done. But at the same time,
but how you gonna get Big Cat, man, when Big Cat is not getting on the soapbox, making himself look fat, and talking about he won't come to the Pelicans like James Harden did. James Harden basically forced them to trade him to the Knicks. That's why, not the Knicks, the Nets. That's why they got him at that price. He refused to go anywhere else, and he told them this is where he going. And then he started cutting up, with the team, making chemistry bad and all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? He forced his way out. You would have to have Big Cat basically saying he don't want to play with nobody but Zion for this to happen.
What? Right. I don't disagree with the fact that James Harden, the reason why his went. Well, if we being real, they Rockets could have got a lot more, even with him saying I don't want to go anywhere else. Like, cause remember when they made the trade, it was a 3-team trade. They did not get 14 trade because Cleveland got Jared Allen. Karis LeVert went to the Pacers, and the only thing that Houston got back was a couple first-round picks, and I'm missing a player, but they didn't really get much back. Like, all the good talent they could have gotten went to elsewhere. So that's the reason why they trade wasn't that good. But the other thing is, too, is the issue with the Timberwolves is that they're also cash strapped. Like, they don't have no cap, and they're worse off than the Pelicans are. And they, you see what I'm saying? So I think what's going to end up happening is that they're going to have to start selling off some of them some of them players that they have. And the only one that you could really give off, because you got D'Angelo Russell. D'Angelo Russell making more money, I think, than Karl-Anthony Towns is right now. And he was hurt last year. So, like, I don't know how much assets you're going to get for him. But, like I say, I don't think it's too far out of the realm that the Pelicans could trade for Karl-Anthony Towns and not have to give up Brandon Ingram. Now, it may do require Nickeil Alexander-Walker, which I am totally fine with. But at the same time, like, I don't think that it's out of the norm. Like I said, did anybody expect us to get Boogie Cousins? Like, I don't even think we would have gave them a lot for Boogie Cousins. Did we? Like, I do like
we gave him
Buddy
Hield.
Tyreek Evans, I think, maybe.
No, Tyreek Evans was drafted by them. They didn't take him. Tyreek Evans already
Okay.
gone. It was Buddy Hield. Was it? Did Austin Rivers wind up in that trade some type of way? We lost.
I think he was already gone, wasn't he?
All I remember is Buddy Hield, man.
Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield. I believe Langston Galloway was one of them type of people, and maybe like a pick or so.
Let me see.
But again, even with that situation,
it was
you still he
didn't ask out of Sacramento either.
The organization kept talking about getting rid of him, and they kept painting a bad picture of him. Like, he had stuff around him. There's no talk about Karl-Anthony Towns wanting to leave. There's no talk about Minnesota wanting to get rid of him. It was a toxic situation with the Kings, because even before we got Boogie Cousins, it was talk about him being traded the year before. Like, it was an ongoing theme of, them getting rid of him. And his contract was almost up, and they wasn't going to, like, re-up on his contract. So once you know you're not going to re-up on a player, what you going to do? You got to flip him and get what you could get. Everybody knew, he was at a deficit. They was at a deficit because they know they want to get rid of him. So the value is down. You know what I'm saying? When players come out, they want to get traded, the value goes down. But when they have guys that are good, like a Karl-Anthony Towns, and he still probably got another 2-3 years on his contract, you know what I'm saying? And when you got guys like that, man, they don't trade guys like that unless they get another superstar back. You look at all the trades, it just typically don't happen. You can't give me a trade where a guy didn't say he wanted to be traded. The organization was unhappy with him and wanting to get rid of him. And, basically messed his name up like they did with Boogie Cousins. Everybody made him seem like he's this horrible guy, which wasn't the case. I mean, he's a little boisterous and try to bully certain people, and you try that with everybody. But most of the trades is going to be a start for a start when it ain't no smoke around it or fire around it. So
I agree with that. I agree with that. I'm gonna give you one more reason why I think it's possible. Like I said, I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but I think it's possible. The Timberwolves, like, if we talking about front offices being in turmoil, like, the whole team is in turmoil because they can't even sell their team good, right? Like, they can't, like, they in a situation where they thought they had had the team sold, and then all of a sudden one of the owners come out and say, "Hey, it was Fugazi." Like, the dude, they trying to move the team and all that stuff. Like it's you could tell that team, just like Sacramento, they're not a very well run team. like the owner who is there currently is not very good, and then at the same time, the people that's coming in to buy the Timberwolves aren't very cash liquid because they are taking out a loan for at least I think almost 20 years to pay for the Timberwolves in the first place. So the one thing they ain't gonna want to do is spend money. So like again, like everybody keeps saying like it's a crazy out of the norm thing. Like don't act like it is. Like it's really not. Like the fact that this team is
I
not
don't think it's crazy for him to get traded. I just think
yeah.
for you to get him for little or nothing is what I'm saying.
Well, I don't think
They'll
that's
trade
considered
him,
yeah.
but it'll be an upcoming star, a guy with star potential that's about to be a star that they trade him for. They're not just gonna get off of him for nothing. That's what I'm saying.
But it's
Yeah,
that.
that
Go ahead,
getting
DJ.
back to getting back to them Cousins trade. It was Cousins, Omar Caspi for Buddy Hill, Tyreek Evans, Langston Galloway, and two 2017.
And it was
draft
Tyreek
picks.
Evans. How the hell did they take Tyreek Evans from us? Tyreek Evans wasn't even playing no more.
He was on there.
Wow. So that's 2 first-round draft picks basically for Buddy Hill and the 2017 first rounder we gave him. Which boy, that was the 2017. I think that was a good year, huh, Q? Forgot who
Yeah.
came out the draft that year, but I think we missed out on some players that year.
Yeah, it wasn't
I think
bad.
we passed up on Jamal Murray that year, wasn't it? Or that 16.
That was probably
No,
18
Jamal
or 16 or
Murray
something.
and
That might have been 18.
Murray and Hill was in the same draft. I'm gonna say.
Okay.
So that was Buddy Hill.
Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't
Yeah.
have mattered because we'd have just traded Jamal Murray to get
Yeah, but
Marcus
remember
Cousins, which would have looked even more
but
stupid.
remember that's what Dale Demps was contemplating with the Pelicans. Because see, I got all this up here mentally that they were looking at Hield, and because remember Buddy was tearing it up in college, and Murray,
He's looking like Steph Curry.
right? He was. It was a big difference then. Now it's good to look at it in retrospect, but he was tearing it up in college, man. And the Pelicans thought like they made a good move. And we just really didn't see enough of Buddy. You know what I'm saying? We got him. We had him for a little bit. Then when Cousins came in, you seen an immediate change right there because him and Anthony Davis was click tight. And it was magical that season, man. We had Rondo there. We had it going on. We just could not capitalize on that success.
Right.
And of course, Buddy was saying he's better. I'm gonna show some of these articles in just a second. But Buddy Hill Buddy said that he was better than Murray. He said that coming out. Let me see if I can put that on the screen. Proclaimed himself to be better than Jamal Murray.
What are you supposed to say?
He says, I
That's
am
what
not
I'm
as
trying to
good as
figure out.
Jamal Murray.
Why would he say that? I wouldn't want to draft no damn player that say that.
I've seen the future, and I am not better than Murray. But actually, he's not as a complete. But see, Jamal Murray, man, is on another level in Denver now. He is a key piece of what Denver's doing versus what's going on with the Sacramento Kings.
Would be in trouble if they had him, boy.
So yeah, he's a sharpshooter, man. He wasn't shooting with a lot of confidence, I remember then, but he's shooting his ass off with confidence in Sacramento. And it ain't nothing new. The Pelicans always like to revisit guys that they got rid of and got back. So it's a Pelican trend to say to be honest with you. But I remember it was between Buddy and Jamal Murray for the spot, and that's what the talk was. That Dale Demps wanted. He was having difficulties picking between the two.
They say you're a little tipsy in the chat, James. With your towns talk.
Look, they laughing at me about Cars of Town, but they coming up with trade scenarios for Damian Lillard though. Like that's a farther out of reach than anything.
I heard a lot of people. Our people keep talking about CJ McCullough, which I think it's not a real far reach because I think the Blazers are probably looking to restructure their team. CJ McCullough is a guy I think could come in and he definitely could fit in with Brandon Ingram and Zion, but I just don't see that like turning us into just this other phenomenally winning team. CJ McCullough's a little older. He's making a gang of money. You know what I'm saying? And he gonna stop you from filling in all the other holes because the money. You know what I'm saying?
But
And I don't
yeah,
think having him just turns us into this upper echelon team. Obviously, he gonna make the playoffs with him, but
but see,
I ain't crazy about CJ McCullough like that because of what he getting paid.
and see that's the thing too is that the two names that kept popping up every time I put Porzingis and CJ McCollum and everything, and those they're both close to $30 million or over $30 million a year, and I think Kristaps is 25, which is crazy because Nees is probably
He's like
45 years old.
he's 31. I
His
was looking
Nees
at
45
that.
years old. Yeah, so but
He
yeah,
31 mil though.
right. So he's 31 years old. But if you sit there, like I say, I'm not saying that Cat is going to be the easiest thing to get. I personally would prefer for us to, build a team around Bi Zion that complements them off of nice pieces that don't necessarily. I mean, they're gonna cost, but I don't ever believe that you need, I guess, 3 stars to really win a championship. But I do believe that 3 stars damn near secures you a championship. Like, it's two different conversations. But if you're going to go all out and you're going to say, like, we're going to try to win and we're going to try to optimize our winning as best as possible. The reason why I said Carson Towns is because he's 25 years old. He still got 3-4 years left on his contract. So, and it's going to be about $33-something million. So that secure him along with Brandon Ingram and Zion. Because if you do that, then you probably pretty much almost lock in that Zion is probably going to sign his extension because of the team that is around him. Now, of course, you're going to lose Lonzo Ball. You're going to lose no, I mean, I ain't worried about Damien, man. You cool. Like, I ain't tripping. But I ain't no hard feelings. But no, it's just more of, if you're going to do it, don't do it for a dude that's 33 years old. That's probably gonna be on the decline by the time his contract is over with. Don't do it for a dude that got bad knees. Like, don't do that. Like, if you gonna ball out, ball out. Like, go get Carl into the town. Like, if you really gonna do it, go do it. And it's not like we don't have the draft assets to do so. And I also don't think it's going to require Brandon Ingram because, like, it's just, I think you have enough of the other assets to where you can get him and still keep, because the other option is Karl Anthony Towns waits on that team and decides to trade out and say, I don't want to be here no more. And then you have to trade him to the Lakers, or you trade him, well, 5 years from now, because Lakers ain't got no draft assets. But
He gonna
one of those,
he gonna want to go to the Suns, bro. Book and
they already got
D'Angelo Russell. They all good friends.
Well, that too, one of those teams and stuff. But at that time, like, would you rather trade him now and get all the draft assets, or end up like the Rockets, and then somebody come out and say, like, I don't want to be here no more, get me up out of here. And then now you got to force him somewhere he said he want to be, and then you get, a bunch of juju bees back. Like, what do you rather want to do? You see, so like, my thing is that I think that Carson Towns may be a little bit more available than a lot of people think they is. Like, of course, they're not gonna come out and say Carson Towns is available because they're trying to sell the team. But if you sit there and you look at how the team is constructed, because let's be real, let's say they get a top 3 pick, who they drafted? Like who they drafted and who they let go?
I think they would draft probably Tatum or Green, bro, and they try to make it work with Ant.
But I agree, but you got like 8 people that's doing the same thing on that team. Like, somebody got to go.
You're gonna have 2 shooting guards.
You see what I'm saying? Like, 3. You got 3. You're gonna have 3 shooting guards.
You have 3 of them, bro.
And you're gonna have 3 of them, and guess what? You still gonna be the 11th seed. Like, you're gonna do all that, and you still gonna end up in.
They could get Mobley too. I could see him working as a power forward. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, but it just depends on how Minnesota look at all of that.
Minnesota, look, as much as people want to boo-boo on the Pelicans and they franchise and how bad we've been run, like, ain't nobody been run worse than the Timberwolves. Like, it's just one of those situations where, like,
don't forget about Sacramento.
That was terrible.
Okay. I get it.
That's even worse.
You won. You won. Okay, Timberwolves number 2.
I don't know what you doing. You had something stuck in.
That's how I saw him. He does the little thing like where he almost got something stuck in his throat too.
Yeah, but what was you doing?
Yours too smooth. I was trying to do that because that's what stand out to me when I think about it.
I can't do it either. My voice ain't do it. You got you got it though. He did. You right. They are worse than Rams. But number 2 is Timberwolves. Even Kevin Garnett said that. Like Kevin Garnett, like he don't ever want to talk to a deal with the owner ever again. Like that's how bad it was. And he played there for another year after he was with after he left Brooklyn. So that just lets you know how bad they ran, to the point that even his own ownership team can't get along. Like they like, hey, he lying. You know, like how bad is that the dude that you spent hundreds of millions of dollars with telling you this dude lying? So that's the thing that you got going on there. You got A-Rod coming in that, like I said, his group ain't really got the money like that. Like they're gonna be just like Tim Fertitta, whatever that man name in the Rockets. They ain't finna try to spend no money. They gonna try to sit there and be like, okay, who we paying? Get him off the team. We already got Anthony Edwards. We probably go get Cade Cunningham. If not Cade Cunningham,
they gonna buy them damn tickets. Just get him out of here.
Just get him out of here. Just get everybody buying these tickets. Everybody come to these games. We're gonna be the 12th seed. Like just get him out of here.
We're gonna be the 12th seed.
We're gonna be the 12th seed.
That's the off-season talk. We're gonna be the 12th seed.
We're gonna be the 12th seed. We trust the process. We gonna be trust the process all over again. And like I say, because think about it, you got 2 players already on max contract. You got D'Angelo Russell, who was hurt last year, but you know he's usually been healthy the last couple of years. You got Karl Anthony Towns, who's making about $29-30 million, and you got Anthony Edwards, and you got talented team. As much as people want to boo-boo on the Pelicans about our talent, like the Timberwolves are a very talented team. But Nas Reed, who I didn't even realize he was a McDonald's All-American, but yeah, you got Nas Reed, you got McDaniels or whatever that was giving us trouble whenever we played against them. Like you got a lot of talented people on that team, and you almost at the luxury cap for the next couple years. Not like with us, at least we were close to it this year, and then next year we're gonna be off of it. We'd be good unless we sign a whole bunch of people. They're stuck like that for like the next 5 years. And still suck. like somebody got to go.
When you think they get rid of a guy like what's the Ricky Rubio or something first? Even I know Big Cat probably get mad, but D'Angelo Russell before they just go straight for the jugular. With,
but see, that's the thing. You get rid of D'Angelo Russell. Guess what's coming next?
Yeah, Big Cat gonna be pissed.
Big Cat gonna be want to get up out of there anyway. So that if you gonna trade them, I think either way you got to break it down. Whether it's trading Cat first or trading Cat second, he's going to want out at some point. You know what I'm saying? Because the way the team is made up right now, it can't happen. Because even like you say with Ricky Rubio, because everybody thought Ricky Rubio, and he came back a lot better player than he was when he left. Right? Like we can all agree with that. Hell, I would love Ricky Rubio as our backup point guard. He just costs too damn much. Like he just like if you could imagine Ricky Rubio run the second team offense, because as much as I love Kyle Lewis Jr., even next year he's not gonna be ready to run.
Big Q, what did you putting up on the screen?
What was that? He said Brandon Ingram and who? Who said that? Who did that?
There would be a homicide, bro. Brandon Ingram would be so hot. You traded me. That's the same dude he was talking about when he got it and get his money. Boy, he was hot that they gave Jaylen Brown that money and the Pelicans ain't pay him. Then you trade him for that dude. Brandon Ingram might kill that dude, bro.
But you still ain't as bad as moving them for Cam Reddish. Would you say? I mean, that'll be
for the millionth time. I've never said I would move Brandon Ingram from Cam Reddish. This man be lying, bro.
I heard some. Hey, look, I heard some.
I said we could get Cam Reddish in a hypothetical Drew Holiday trade when I was looking at that Atlanta pick. They had the 8th pick, and I was like, we could, steal a lot of
them. You ain't mentioned Cam Reddish's name as much as you did.
Man, get out of here, man! I always got to talk about Cam Reddish when you bring it up.
It's 2 people I always hear people keep bringing up when it comes, and they both on the Atlanta Falcons. It's Cam Reddish and DeAndre Hunter. Like everybody always talk about, like, oh, we could have had DeAndre Hunter. Like, man, that boy played 5 minutes this whole year. Like, like as much as I like DeAndre Hunter as a player, you know, that dude, he get hurt too much, man. He get hurt too much.
Dang, man. But I like DeAndre Hunter, man. He's actually was coming on real good
Yeah,
before
he
he
got
got
hurt.
hurt. Bro. He was
Yeah,
a big reason that Atlanta got a lot better and they were successful in the playoffs. If you notice, since he got hurt,
they've been
you ain't hearing a lot about Atlanta no more. Like
yeah.
they fizzling out against Philly now, so
And Ben Simmons ain't really doing well. He did something the second half of last game, but he ain't really been killing them like that. They finna get gentleman swept.
yeah, you probably right about that.
All right, fam, we getting close to the man. This was a great show, man. We had a lot of fun on this one, man. We're approaching almost 3 hours up in this joint, man. I like to thank the whole family, man, for chiming in on this one, man. Much love to the flock in this one, man. Chiming in, great
Oh, you
insight.
flockers.
And of course, big ups to the DC and his best friend Cam Reddish. It produced 11 points. That we could have had all 11 points. That's of Cam Reddish. That's what DC was trying to instill upon us. He gave us 4 rebounds. And we like thank DC for constantly letting us know about Cam Reddish and his production and how we could have had 11 points a game. DC, there go your dog, bro. Cam Reddish is in the building. There you
Hey,
go.
Big Q. I'm finna get
Yes,
on
sir.
2K. I'm finna go 2K trade Zion, Brandon Ingram, and Eric Bledsoe for Cam Reddish.
There you go, bro. You get on there and do that. You'll make DC happy as hell if you do
You
that
better
too.
get you some goddamn draft picks. That's for sure, man. Them damn people.
DC, man, DC strongly recommends that you do that, bro. Trade BI for Cam Reddish, bro. Get a superstar right there. DC said that some time ago.
Big Q
And
is
you can do
saying
that there.
that he told me off camera, y'all, that we should sign Kyle Larry. He said we
Oh,
should bring him in
now y'all know
and
that's a
we should
damn
pay
lie.
him whatever he want.
Look,
Come
Y'all
on,
know
let's
that.
see.
Y'all know I can't stand his ass. Y'all know that ain't
you
right.
laughing. I heard somebody on Twitter said that we could get Kyle Larry and OG Anunoby and trade them Brandon Ingram.
Them people need to stop and get up off that weed.
They ain't even say Pascal Siakam. I heard people say Pascal Siakam. Nigga
I
was
Uh,
think
straight to
Siakam.
OG Ananobi. Like
I,
that.
yeah, they said OG. They said OG. And I was like, wait, why would you trade him for he could be an all-star? I said, Brandon Ingram is an all-star. Why would you trade an all-star for
For somebody who
a good
could be an
who
all-star.
could be? Like, that don't make no sense.
Look at them stats, Q. And
Man.
you get to see him flop and cry all the time. Boy, that'll
Oh,
be
he a
something.
cry baby too, boy. He a big time cry
Hey,
baby. He got a fat contract too. I don't want, but I'll be
He
honest
about
with
to
you,
be
I
a
would take him.
free agent, I think,
But
this
I
year.
would take him over Bledsoe any day.
I agree,
I mean,
100%.
I would in every day. I would definitely take
Yeah.
Kyle Lowry
anybody will be
over him.
better than Bledsoe. Any starting point guard in the league gonna do better than Bledsoe. Matter of
This is
fact, we
true.
could get Dallas backup point guard and start him, and he'll be better than
I
Bledsoe.
like him. You talking about Brunson?
Brunson, yeah.
Brunson,
I like
yeah.
Brunson.
You get
I like
somebody like
Brunson.
him.
Bro, go bring the dragon over here, Dragic. Go get him. He'll be better than Bledsoe.
Yeah,
Man,
yeah.
you get it. You pull up. Give me some more names.
Any one of
Hey,
them
You can
dudes,
pull up
man. I like
anybody.
that, there, bro.
Right.
what's the boy that's hurt in Brooklyn right now? He put
Spencer
they say he put
Dinwiddie.
No,
Spencer Dinwiddie.
He said
Dinwiddie.
he claimed he trying to
Dinwiddie.
make it back for the finals. Like if they make it to the finals, he's saying he would be ready.
I think he gone after this year though. I think
Yeah, of course,
he gonna get paid.
of course. Filling the waiver, Q.
Jalen, look, Big Q always trying to figure out trade scenarios to get Bledsoe to Dallas for Jalen Brunson.
Oh,
Was such a
by
bad
any means
idea, huh?
necessary.
Yeah.
And by any means necessary, let's get him the hell out of here, will we please?
I will say
Hey.
one maybe actually worse than Eric Bledsoe.
What about you? We get Drew Holiday, little brother,
Pat Bell.
for
Pat
Bledsoe.
Bell may be
Beverly?
worse. Pat Bell may be worse. Pat Bell
I'll
may
take
be
Pat.
worse.
I would take
At least Pat Bev
He
gonna play
play
defense.
defense.
He
Right.
gonna get people to foul him. He
What
gonna piss people off. He'll be
what
like
Westbrook
take-
say?
CD. He'll be
What
like
Westbrook
CD
say?
Drew
Oh,
playing for the Pelicans.
What Westbrook say? All he do is run around. He don't do nothing. He just be running around.
Go
I
ahead,
got a
DJ. What you
question
were
though.
saying? Go ahead, DJ.
When is the well, I know the draft is 2 weeks away. When is the lottery pick thing? Like when is that?
I think it's 10
The,
days.
the lottery pick thing was actually 2 weeks away. The draft, I think, is like next month.
Oh.
So a lottery pick, it might actually be because it was 2 weeks away.
It
That was
says
probably last week. So we
I
might
think it's
have
because
like
this
seven or
coming
8 days or something. Yeah, it's
so
the
the,
22nd.
Tuesday, the next not this coming Tuesday, but next Tuesday.
Right. So
But
it'd
I mean,
be
so that's the
22nd.
lottery pick.
Right.
yeah, that's the NBA lottery.
In
7:30.
the season starting at its
September.
regular time this year. So
I think
everything going
Damien.
back to normal.
That's your question, Damien answered
Damien asked
earlier.
that. So
I think
Damien
I
said
showed.
he dipping out.
I
All right,
put
brother.
the
Good night.
I put the article on that form early on, but yeah, they're going back to the regular season coming up this year, C19 permitting. So with that being said, fam, listen, I'm gonna give I'm like thank brother James, man, had a lot of great insight. DJ from the state of Pelicans, also Kenneth that chimed in, and the rest of the family members. I appreciate y'all, man, by stopping by, and I'm gonna give the family members, brother James or DJ, an opportunity to close out our stream by saying the phrase that pays, baby.
Go ahead, DJ.
If anybody talk about your New Orleans Pelicans, you tell them in a Karen Reddish accent, get the flock out of here and go flock yourself. I had to get you back, DC, bro.
You want to, James? You want to take a shot at it, bro?
Man,
on,
I don't
James.
know. I don't know if I don't think I come behind that, bro. That's well, I got one for you. If you ain't down with that, go flock yourself.
All right, brothers. Appreciate y'all chiming on the show, man. Much love to brother for the family members. Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all, man. And go Pelicans to y'all, fam. Appreciate y'all. All right, appreciate it. All right, DJ, much love. And a great show, man. We 10 minutes off for 3 hours, man. And it was pretty damn good show. Hope y'all had fun. I hope y'all
all my legs
enjoy.
locking up, but it was a good show.
Oh yeah, well you got to move around a little bit, my friend. Got to move around a little bit. But anyway, listen, fam. Yeah, Damon. Letting you know that 82 game season will start. The NBA's plans is to kick the 82 games the season off. I think they said in October they're gonna get back to their regular schedule. That's what they've been doing. I know it's been a tumultuous time for them, but they are setting that up for this year to have a shortened off season so that they can help us start the season on time in October. So, just to let you know, because you asked about that a little early on. So once again, I appreciate the family members for chiming in on this edition of the Pelican Post Game Report. DJ did out. So I like to thank y'all guys and ask you guys to feel free to share. Feel free to share. Hit the like button if you hadn't already hit it. Feel free to share the links in your social media. It also helps the platform to continue to grow. I'd like to give a big shout out to Brother Jerry for his birthday weekend. It's Brother Jerry's birthday weekend.
Brother.
Big ups to Brother Jerry. You gotta give him a happy who dat and a happy Go Pelicans.
Put no damn Reddish on my knees, 504 lady.
Cam Reddish, that's DC. But Cam Reddish, he was happy to hear that. Talk about he ain't never wanted to trade for
Man,
Cam
I
Reddish.
never said. I said we should in the Drew Holiday trade get the A pick, Cam Reddish, and what I was saying, Clint Capella or something like that. And with the Drew Holiday trade and some picks, man. This man that took that and went to Brandon Ingram and all type of crazy stuff. He's a wild boy. He's a wild boy, Big Q.
DC considers Cam Reddish Michael Jordan. That's DC.
I can't wait till this little dude be good, man.
All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all, man, for stopping by. Much love to the flock as well. And listen, man, like we said, hit the like button, subscribe if you aren't a subscriber, and join the flock today. And we'll be back next Saturday night with more Pelican comedy, more Pelican entertainment news notes, and also more of the flock members chiming in up in this thing. So me and DC, thank you, DC, for popping up, my brother. Much love to you. Much love to the Flock family. I appreciate y'all.
Love
And we'll
everybody.
see y'all later. Go Pels.
You're listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com.